Reaction Monday, where our highly trained experts talk football.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
Your home for reaction and overreaction, The Fan. Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Reaction Monday edition of the program. Bo, the boys with you for the next 10 o'clock. We'll relive the Battle of Ohio. Austin will join at 10:30, 11 o'clock. We'll blitz the Buckeyes 11:30. Nate Davis, USA Today, joins us as we recap a wild week one in the NFL. It is not over yet. A really fun one on Monday Night Football between the Bears and the Vikings. We'll get you set for that one as well. Listen, I'm not complaining, but in the 40s to take the kids to school hit different. That hit a little different this morning to have it in the 4s. So I'm not quite ready for that. I got a text from my dad last night. We were 22 degrees cooler than Montana yesterday. So and it was lovely. It was perfect. Loved it. But just from the standpoint of 40s in the morning, that's an attention getter, man. That was a hoodies and preheat the car situation today for the boys. So did that hit you in the face this morning, boys? The 40s?
It was kind of nice, though.
Jeez, we're going to have it for a long time.
Honestly, as someone who does like the heat and who likes it a little warmer, as I'm sure has been discussed on this station, yeah, today kind of had a nice face feel, and it smelled like fall. And I'm here to welcome it.
We're not there yet, though.
No, I know.
We still got 2 weeks, allegedly.
But we got football.
This weekend's supposed to be nice.
I'm never going to complain.
Warm, really warm?
Yeah, never going to complain. It's going to be back to 86 next weekend. So.
Okay. All right. Some normalcy is.
So I kept the Birkenstocks out. It's not time for them to go away yet.
You'd fit in right with my 13-year-old, Reese. That's all they're rocking.
They're wonderful shoes.
They love them.
Wait
That's all they rock. The clogs, the sandals, all of it.
Your oldest might do the socks and Birkenstocks.
That's
okay.
How they roll. Yeah,
I did a lot of that
socks
in high school and in college.
Yeah. I mean, I did that in college with the Birkenstocks. Yeah, I did. I mean, that's how long. That's a pretty timeless brand that you can go for 25 years kind of in the sweet spot still. That's a good job out of them. I grew greatly concerned on Saturday. It hit me Saturday afternoon, long after the Buckeye game. We'll get into that. They were close to perfect. I mean, there's not many notes you would have on what happened. It basically went exactly the way that we wanted it to on Friday. If you go listen to our 3 things on Friday, everything that happened in the game on Saturday went almost exactly to a T what we were hoping would happen. Everybody got to play. Young kids got to go. Full complement of the offense. Near perfect play out of Julian, truly nearly perfect. So it kind of had everything. But as the afternoon went on and I was bouncing around watching games, I did get a sense of panic that rushed over me, and it was a sense of, wow, they have really screwed this sport up. And here's how that manifested. Troy is up on Clemson 17-0. 17-0.
I think it was 16-0.
Did it get? Oh, they missed the extra point.
Yeah.
16-0. Yeah, 16-0. They're up on. Troy is up on Clemson 16-0. And as this happens, it occurs to me that doesn't ruin Clemson's season. That despite already being 0-1 with a home loss to LSU, Clemson could lose to Troy and still make the 12-team playoff. And it hit me. oh, we stepped in it here. We stepped in it here. And it was almost, and then something happened in the evening as I was watching Mississippi State, Arizona State. It was Clay Hall's birthday. I have an affinity for the Bulldogs because of the great Clay Hall. Happy birthday. And I'm watching that. And Mississippi State's out to a big lead. Arizona State comes all the way back. And Kenny Dillingham just kept saying, one play. Just make one play. That was his whole mantra. Every time they'd run over, one play. One play at a time. They come all the way back. And then Mississippi State gets a walk-off. Mississippi State hadn't won a Power 4 game since, like, Gerald Ford was president. It's been a long time. Maybe not that long, but it's been a long time. And they beat them. They beat Arizona State in Starkville. And Arizona State's fine. They're fine. And this is the thing that when you hear those of us that are so passionate about the sport talk about it, this is the slippery slope that we've slid down. And it's not going to happen all the time. It won't. And it might not happen with Clemson. They have a lot of flaws. They may lose again. They don't have a whole lot of playmakers. Cade Klubnik might be who we thought he was. They have some elite talent, certainly, but their attack is not elite in any way, shape, or form after 2 weeks in a row watching them play. So it may take care of itself. But as you're watching all this stuff, you're like, oh, no, these aren't going to matter as much. And that's what makes this sport, that's one of the things that makes this sport so special, is that every single game counts. Except now it kind of doesn't. I was watching Baylor come back on my beloved ponies on Saturday afternoon, and in kind of an improbable way, although I think they've won 14 in a row, so maybe it wasn't that improbable, watching them come all the way back. And as I'm watching I'm watching Baylor, who I picked to win the Big 12 before the year, I'm watching this thing and I'm thinking, well, hell, even if they lose, they're fine. Baylor would have been fine. 0-2, go win the Big 12. You're fine. This is the thing that we're protective of, and we've lost sight of it. And I don't know if these will be something that will be consequential by the time we get to November. These teams may lose enough, and it might not matter. But just the idea that Clemson could have lost to Troy at home and started 0-2 and been okay, that's a very NFL mindset. It's very NFL. And I know they want to get there in a hurry, but I don't know if it's the best thing for the sport. And I did, as I was watching it, think, oh, this is going to be a shame if these guys win the ACC and they have home losses to LSU and Troy on their. And by the way, they could lose to South Carolina again, too. They could be 3-4 loss team and still get in. I'm not sure that's probably not an intended consequence of all of this. But that's what happens when you go to 12 and 16 and 24 and 28 is you have a wide margin for error now. And I don't think that's the best for the sport.
From an on-field competitive standpoint, no. But from a eyeballs on your property standpoint, I think it actually makes it better because then you don't lose those fan bases and you keep them engaged even through the end of the season. And I also think for ESPN, this is probably the best for them because they're still a month out from their little Tuesday circus when they trot the College Football Playoff Committee out because you have data points like Clemson struggling against Troy or like Florida who lost to South Florida because people can't stop spitting on one another, which we got to behave a lot better here, people. But you can have like Alabama similarly, even Michigan, if they're able to kind of pull themselves up. And losing to Oklahoma, I don't know if there's any shame in, really.
No, they shouldn't be punished.
But you can have that argument, and that's what I say to my point is why that these kinds of things that the college football decision makers won't actually affect your willingness to watch and their willingness to make what they love to use content because you can argue those data points now week to week starting October 8th.
Yeah, it'll be here soon. Yeah, I hear that. I also think, though, Reese used the word engaged. One thing that has kind of been trusted and true in college football through the years is that it's a little bit like European soccer in that even when your team's out of it, you're still engaged. Like it's still hard to get. Clemson could lose 4 times. It'd be hard to get tickets to the South Carolina Clemson game. Or when Florida State comes, it's still a hard ticket because it wasn't always just about chasing a championship. It was about supporting your school, your alma mater, your fan base, whatever. And you went because it's what you did. This is an NFL thought of we're still in it. And they want the NFL in every way except the one that would save them, Bake.
Bo, I guarantee you I've never lost sight of this the whole time. And I've always said when I see a three-loss team playing for a national championship, I'm going to puke. Mm-hmm. And a lot of Ohio State fans ridiculed me a little while ago when I said to everything that we've known of college football, Ohio State didn't deserve to play for a national championship last year. Mm-hmm. But the rules changed, and they were one of the 12 teams. And they got in and they played their best football in those 4 games and they won the national championship. Now, I don't know if that diminishes it to me or not because I'll still celebrate it, right? And I'm still happy that my team won. But I don't know personally if I will ever have an affinity or appreciation for last year's team like I do the 2014 championship or the 2002 championship. And that's not fair to last year's team, maybe, because it was different rules than those other teams played by. And listen, that 2014 team stumbled and had a loss early on in the year. And then they came back and just went on an incredible run there at the end of the season as well. I like delineation between college football and the pros. I don't want college football to be the pros because I don't think it is. Because I think the difference in pro football from 1 to 32 is like the difference from about 1 to 12 in college football. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I need to change my view on that. But I just feel like it's so much closer every day, every game in the NFL than it is college football. Listen, we're going to watch. I'm going to watch. But I don't like it. I don't love it, and I don't have to, quite frankly.
No, look, both great points, both sides. The reality of, and it didn't happen too big of a way last year, but the reality of, as long as they keep these conference championship games, you're going to find a situation where a 4-loss team gets in because they have an upset in a conference championship game. Like, those days are coming. And it just hit me with Clemson. Like, you lose at home to LSU. If they would have lost to Troy, like, to me, that should have been it. I don't want to hear from you again. You lost 2 straight home games and one to a team that's not any good. You're done. There should be consequences to that, and the reality is there aren't anymore. And that hit me on Saturday. You know what else hit me on Saturday? This Ohio State team, wave after wave after wave, is loaded. You got to see some kids, and the kids shined. We'll get to all of that coming up next. We're off and running on a Reaction Monday. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Coffee, iced cap, refreshers. Tim Hortons has all your favorite beverages. And now you can get your favorite bite for less. When you buy any size beverage, add a baked daily donut for $1, a tasty bagel for $2, or a freshly cracked hot breakfast sandwich for just $3. So next time you order your favorite Tim's beverage, add something that satisfies your cravings and your wallet. The $1, $2, $3 menu. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants. Must ask for offer in restaurant. Tax extra exclusions and terms apply.
Scotty Vegas here. Smartest bet of the season? Bet on yourself. I needed a weight loss plan that fit into real life. Tailgates, road trips, kids' nights, and still lets you eat. Week 1 with Awaken 180, I was down 6. By the end, 45 pounds gone. That's with wings, chili, meatballs, sausages, all the good stuff. It's the Tailgate transformation. Structure, coaching, and food that tastes like a win. Make the smart play. Start your Tailgate transformation at awaken180weightloss.com.
At Kroger Pharmacy, we make it easy to get flu, COVID, and RSV vaccines. They're available at no cost to you with most insurance plans. No appointment needed. And we're open weekdays, weeknights, and weekends. So come and visit us when it's most convenient for you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Vaccines subject to availability. No cost to you with most insurance plans. Check with your plan for eligibility. Restrictions and exclusions may apply. See site for details.
Here's a look at what's going on around the ballpark with your Cincinnati Reds. The Reds' final homestand of the 2025 season begins on Thursday, September 18th, with the Chicago Cubs in town for 4 games, followed by the Pittsburgh Pirates for 3. That game on the 18th will be the last Bark in the Park of the season, presented by Good and Fun, Dream Bone, and Kroger. Ticket packages are available for dogs and their owners with pet activity samples and more in the First Star Fan Zone. The following night will be the final City Connect Fireworks Friday, and fans in attendance on Saturday can pick up a Reds poster while supplies last. On Sunday, we'll be celebrating Fan Appreciation Day, with lucky fans having the chance to win prizes throughout the game. Postcard entries are being accepted. For information on everything happening at Great American Ballpark all season long, visit Reds.com. That's a look at what's going on around the ballpark with your Cincinnati Reds.
Script Ohio necklaces, Blocko earrings, Ohio State bangles, and more. You'll find an exclusive collection of luxury Buckeye jewelry you'll love at the Diamond Cellar, starting at $99. Show your Buckeye love at the Diamond Cellar, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hello, big voice guy here. I've been hired to tell you all about the Fans YouTube channel. Did you know you can immerse yourself in Buckeye goodness like Austin and Burb's daily podcast, The Beat? Yes, sirree, Bob. Subscribe today.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
The Ohio Lottery's new $5 scratch-off Win Big has a top prize of $100,000. And with the Ohio Lottery app, all non-winning tickets can be entered into a My Lotto Rewards second chance promotion to win Cleveland or Cincinnati football tickets or even a trip to football's biggest game. And that's more exhilarating than a cooler of sports drink dumped on you. So exhilarating. Win big from the Ohio Lottery. A celebration waiting to happen. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
An absolutely lovely start to the work week with plenty of sunshine and temperatures feeling very much like fall in the mid-70s. For tonight, clear skies overnight with our lows down into the 40s. And then for Tuesday, the sunshine is on rinse and repeat. Sunglasses will be needed, but the jacket you can put away in the afternoon with highs getting right around 80 degrees. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvus weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, the Fan. First Friday miracles are always better with Uncle Bo. This is Bishop and Friends.
This is the best we can do in the state, and we're doing it. And I would put it up with any. I think it's better than any state I've ever lived in. It's like 45 days. It's the start of September till the middle of October. This is peak us. Fall festivals, leaves changing, cool nights, nice humidity low. You heard Meredith there in the update. It's going to be pretty spectacular. Going to get a little warm this week, but we'll be fine. It's going to be fine. It's fine to have a couple more warm-up days before we get all the way into it. The Buckeyes pretty close to perfect Saturday as well. Look, this is what we wanted to see in all of this thing, and it mirrored, to the shock of nobody, it mirrored what it appears Ryan Day wanted to see. He wanted to see his pass game get going. He wanted to be explosive down the field. He wanted to open this thing up to what I believe this is going to be by the time you get to November. This was the first step in that. Like, let's spin it around. Let's let the kid eat a little bit. Let's get the receivers going. They stayed healthy. Everybody got to play. Every kid you wanted to see, you saw. Boy, did we see Bo Jackson. He's got a different gear to him, that one. He's going to be factored into this thing in a big way going forward. There's others who popped as well. But I think the thing that was most stunning was Julian Sayin completing his first 16 passes. It was just a remarkable clinic in accuracy and an ability to anticipate when to get rid of the ball, where to go with it. Look, they're wildly outmatched. clearly. Grambling was wildly outmatched. I'm not going to sit here and act like that this was some sort of quality win. What it was a glorified practice to work on the things you needed to work on. But even in practice, you miss from time to time. Even in practice against air, sometimes the ball hits the ground. The fact that it didn't for 16 straight throws is a massive step forward and a window into what I think this team will be going forward. The interception, in a way, and Ryan even said this postgame, was kind of the perfect time to have one. No, you don't ever want a red zone interception, of course, but he was late on the throw. He knew it, and it got picked. And so, lesson learned. So when you get into Big Ten play and you have that exact same play called, if it's not out right now, that's what happens. And that could be a killer in a game where the score is not completely out of control. To me, this kind of, as these type of games go, this one checked every box. This was a bit of a masterclass on the coaching staff on how to handle an outmatched opponent, get your work in that you needed to get in, and move on and on to the next with Ohio coming in here this week. By the way, nice job out of your boys, Reese.
Boy, that second half against West Virginia.
Come on.
I won't spend too much time.
Bask in it a little bit.
It was a great win, and it was wonderful to see all the reports coming out of Athens after that. And they were playing Country Roads, Take Me Home in the locker room. They were enjoying, a win over a quality Big 12 team. I'm not sure it's very quality in what Rich Rodriguez has for West Virginia, but it'd be fun to see.
It could be 2-0.
There should be. There's a block punt and those stones on the Schiano, man.
Yeah, I mean, you could be standing there at 2-0 with 2 wins over a Big 10 and a Big 12 team.
But Ohio State's a 31.5-point favorite against the Bobcats of Ohio Saturday night at 7. In another game that I think, Bo, to your point, you see a lot of everybody, or at least you should in the second half, because it felt to me, watching that game with Julian Sain, quarterback, a near perfect operation outside of that interception, was Ryan Day also rewarding the tight ends for how well they blocked last week against Texas? Because everybody got to eat. Mm-hmm. And this will be more of that Saturday against Ohio, because Bobcats are just going to be outmatched by probably this is without a doubt the best team in the country. I didn't look at the vote discrepancies between the coaches and the AP in terms of first place votes.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you can watch football through 2 weeks and not look at Ohio State and say, yeah, they're just head and shoulders above, I think, everybody right now.
Can I add one?
I don't know.
Add Oregon. Add Oregon.
Okay.
Add Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Add them.
You can't really.
But then you can stop it.
I think so.
At that point, you could stop it. It's those two, and then I think a pretty decent gap. I think everybody else has some flaws and some issues.
Man, Mike Gundy really stepped in it. I think the biggest thing of what he said last week was that they were going to have to pony up for Dante Moore. I think was probably the biggest thing that stuck in the craw of Dan Lanning.
I mean, they went easy on him in the second half.
Yeah, they took the foot off the throat.
That's a Power 4 team, and they could have beat them 100-0 had they wanted to. I mean, it's Oklahoma State. Des Bryant played there. They've had dudes. They had dudes. I mean, last year they were ranked in the top 25. Ollie Gordon was supposed to be the best running back in college football. And they could have picked. Oregon could have picked it. No, it's those two. Doug asked me that last week on Friday, Bake, when he said, if you had to pick somebody to win the national championship, who would you take right now? And it's hard to not say Ohio State. I mean, you just see the depth of talent, and you'd be blind not to see it. It's out there. And I believe in this kid. I think this kid at quarterback is special. And I think he's throwing darts, and I think it's only more to come where he's concerned.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a reason ESPN Bet and all the places had them the odds-on favorite to win the national championship with Texas before the year. And there's a reason right now they're the co-favorites with Penn State, right, to win it at 6-1. It's because they look like on the field. And listen, we can get caught up in Grambling all we want. I said this a lot on Saturday while at the game. This just looks right.
Yeah.
We've had games against inferior opponents before where it didn't look right. LSU had a game this weekend where it didn't look right. Clemson had a game this weekend where it didn't look right. Georgia, maybe to some extent, had a game this weekend where it didn't look right. But this looked right for Ohio State. And Julian saying, this might be crazy to say, but outside of the interception, his worst pass of the day might have been the 87-yard pass, which is like a record-breaking almost pass for Ohio State. But he threw that one behind Jeremiah. He didn't lead him. But everything else was just about perfect from Julian on Saturday. The pass he threw to Will Kazmarek was a dime. The pass he threw to Carnell Tate might have even been better.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked the part on Saturday. And listen, the whole team did, right? Bo Jackson, my goodness. There's just something. And listen, I think C.J. Donaldson is a really good back, especially a good power back. I think James Peoples has a jump cut that is special, but I think that's also going to hurt him is because he likes to go side to side a little bit too much. Bo Jackson is just straight ahead, a little wiggle here, a sidestep here, and boom.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I like what you said there about it just looked right. I think that's the right way to kind of describe it, because we've played in a lot of these games where you fool around and it's 21-7 at half, and you're like, what is going on? Can we just go? And Bake, you weren't with us at the time, but Reese and I, we used to do this thing. You remember, the scene in Anchorman when he drops the "Go blank yourself, San Diego," and Ed's sitting there waiting, and he goes, "I got to fire you, Ron." And Burgundy goes, "I'm going to fire you, Ed." Bing, bong, bong. So we started, like, that was the offense that we would call. Like, that's what you wanted to see when it was outmatched, was bing, bong, bong, down the field, bing, bong, bong, down the field. Away you go, score, score, score. And we would call for that all the time. Like, you just would want it to look easy against the teams it's supposed to look easy about. And this team does that. They make the easy look easy. And they are the best team in the country. Oregon is probably nipping at your heels a little bit, but for right now, that's where they are. And the thing that is most terrifying for the rest of the country about that is that the room for growth on this team, I can't even tell you what the ceiling is, because they're all kids. It's 8 new starters on defense. It's a new quarterback. Bo Jackson is a true freshman. Jeremiah Smith is in his second year. Like, these are kids, man. They're kids. Who knows what you imagine? You imagine being at LSU or Clemson or, well, Texas already knows. Everybody except for probably Oklahoma, and seeing what happened here on Saturday and seeing what's happened through the first 2 weeks and not thinking to yourself, holy cow. By the way, and that's why I brought Oregon up, Oregon's in the same boat. Oregon and Ohio State are mirrors in terms of their youth, guys they're replacing, precocious talent, young quarterbacks looking great. They're different. Those two teams are different, Reese.
Yeah, I think, like, for Penn State, you look to, even with what Oregon was able to, Oregon might destroy Penn State in a couple weeks, and it might be ugly. And I was also thinking, just watching Penn State kind of struggle through the first 2 weeks, or just they had issues.
Right.
Penn State had issues that they did not fix.
No.
Ohio State and Oregon had not issues, but they had holes to fill, and they filled them. And they've done it with recruiting. They've done it with the transfer portal. And for the Buckeyes and what you saw, nobody got injured against scrambling. And you got to see the current and the immediate and maybe the not so distant future all look really incredible. Not just like good, but incredible. Like Riley Pettijohn, we could do an hour on him.
Stud. Jeez.
At every position, Ohio State looks to be loaded for the next 4 years, at least.
Zion Grady was awesome at defensive end when he came in, especially for a freshman.
Yeah. No, they did. And look, I thought last year the two best teams in the country were Ohio State and Oregon. And as you look to this year, it appears that neither one is taking a step back, that they're both right where they were a year ago. You're going to hear from Julian Sayin. You're going to hear from Coach Jeremiah, the Buckeye sound of a spectacular Saturday at the Shoe coming up in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
5 words no one wants to hear? You need a new roof. What do you do? Who do you call? How are you going to pay for it? Hey, it's Timmy Hall, and these are all questions that run through people's minds when they hear those 5 words. But if you pick up the phone and call Victor's Home Solutions, your new roof will be the easiest, most hassle-free home improvement project you'll ever do. Victor's has thousands of 5-star ratings for both customer service and high-quality installation. Plus, they offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. And since no one wants to pay these high interest rates for a limited time, Victor's is offering 5-year no-interest financing with minimum monthly payments for qualified buyers. So if you need a new roof, don't stress. Victor's Home Solutions has your back. It starts with a free 21-point roof inspection. It assesses the exact condition of your roof and what needs to be done next. Set up your inspection today. 866-VICTORS. That's 866-VICTORS or online at victors.com.
At Metal Supermarkets, we're all about getting you and your crew to quit in time sooner. That's why our service is a cut above. You see, no matter the project, we'll get you to the right metal, shape, and grade. Cut to any size, ready real fast. And yeah, we'll deliver, leaving plenty of time for the important things, like opening an ice-cold can of aluminum. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience store for metal.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a Reaction Monday. The Buckeyes took care of business 70-0 over the weekend. Look, when you're, I think that, didn't we inevitably get a 55.5 point favorite? Didn't I see that? Did you set us up big? Yeah, it ended up, there was one on Saturday that people found it, 55.5. When you're favored like that against a totally outmatched opponent, it just has to look right. And it did. There was never a doubt. Ohio State went up and down the field at will. They got Grambling off the field at will, and it goes in the book 70-0. So when you're Coach Ryan Day and you go from, and I said this to the boys as we're watching on Saturday, boy, it's hard to go from like Texas and all of that to this. This is a very different feel to it. But you can still see where the things are improving week to week. The way that we kind of set this up, and I kind of believe this is how they set it up, the Texas game was almost like a preseason Super Bowl spectacular. And then once it was over, it was on towards, there was a game plan for beating Texas that they followed to a T, and they got the metric, they got the data point, they got the win. But then once that went in the books, now it goes about building this team for what it's going to be in November. That's kind of the way that I think this was kind of looked at from their perspective. We can do this and beat Texas. Okay, but this is not going to beat the teams we need to beat in November. So now let's start building towards that team. And I think that's what Saturday was about, was starting to build towards that team that this is going to be by the time we get to November. Here is Ryan Day postgame Saturday about the improvements that were made from Texas to Grambling.
The issues are always going to be there. Just a matter of identifying what they are. There's no secret this was not a matchup game, and I got a lot of respect for Coach, and I thought their team played hard in this game. They were outmatched, talent-wise for sure, and I think he expressed that. But I give them a lot of respect for playing hard and playing for 4 quarters all the way to the end. And so a lot of credit to how hard they played. But I thought early in the game it was good to get the ball pushed down the field. I thought Julian really had some accurate throws. The ball came out on time. The spacing and timing was good. The protection was good. Good to see the defense get some turnovers because that was an emphasis point for us to attack the ball. So we'll take a look at the film, and we've still got a lot of work to do. We're in a race to get better, and that's it. So, but I do think coming out of it, there was a lot of good things coming off of last week. Just, it was heavy, big groupings and running and huddling. This was a little bit more spread out and tempo, which it's good to know that we can do both.
Well, and that kind of buttresses the point that I was just making in terms of what they're trying to be long term and what they're going to be in November, which they're going to spin it all over the place because the kid's good at it and you got weapons everywhere. And Ryan spoke to that post game. The one I'm looking for, Reese, the one where he's giving Julian a little bit more of the offense.
You saw a lot more RPOs. You saw a lot of the things coming out of his hand. We actually started to drive. I think maybe we're inside the 10 20-yard line where we took a shot early and hit it. Down in the red zone, we were throwing it. We were really forcing the issue down there. And, the more we're putting it in his hands to manage the game. And I thought he did a nice job. There was one time where they did a nice job on defense of running to a coverage that there was nothing there, and he scrambled and made like 3 yards, 2nd and 7. That's good. That's good football. Didn't throw it into a crowd. I thought the first throw he made for the touchdown to Will was a really good throw. We talk all the time, if the defender's back's turned, he's wide open, and he 1-inched it right over the top of him, and Will made a great catch. But again, the timing, the spacing, all of that was crisp, and so we can build off of that.
All right, let's hear from the California kid on the offense and the evaluation of it so far.
Yeah, I thought there were some good things, and then, there's stuff to clean up, the turnover, can't turn the ball over there. But, I think as an offense, we moved the ball well, and I feel like, we were challenged this week to be more explosive, and I think we did a good job of that. And offensive line played well, receivers played well, running backs played well, and then, obviously another great performance from our defense, shutting them out.
All right, here he is on the 87-yarder to Jeremiah.
Yeah, so much great history here at the skill position with quarterbacks and wide receivers. We've been practicing that play all week. So it was great to get that one scored, and amazing route by him and great catch, and way to take it the distance.
Here is the best player in college football evaluating his young quarterback.
It's crazy. I've been seeing this since his freshman year, since last year, spring we first got here. And, it's nothing surprised me at this point. He can make any and every throw, like I said before. And he's controlling the offense at a very good pace right now. So I'm very excited for him.
All right, I'm gonna give you guys a task here. Name a quarterback in the country through 2 weeks who's looked better than Julian Sand.
I don't think
there might be some that look equal to.
Dante Moore's right there.
Yeah, I'd say Dante Moore is looked really good, but I don't think he's looked as good or better than Julian.
That's it, not better. I don't think anybody's been better, but I think there are two that have been right there.
Venmo
and I
Mateer.
think you got one of them. That's the other one. That's it. And Dante Moore has a season or a partial season that he started at UCLA, a full red shirt last year at Oregon. He's in his 3rd year of college football. Johnny Mateer played at Washington State, transferred to Oklahoma, was the number 1 quarterback in the portal. He's a vet. This is a kid making his 2nd start. And that's the list for me. Those are the only 2 that are playing on a level that Julian is to start the season. Arch Manning sure as hell isn't. I don't know if you watched any of their game, because I was curious how he'd bounce back. He's not playing at this level. Nussmeier's not playing at this level. Klubnik's not playing at this level. Carson Beck might be. I think he was 22 at 24.
Yeah, he's looked pretty good.
He's looked very good. But it's not much. It's not much. And there's not anybody in the country who I think is playing better than him. There's 2 or 3 that are playing at that level, but there's nobody who's playing better than how he is right now. And I just think as this goes along.
I know you can say from this past weekend, yeah, it's Grambling, but I'm going to go back, to week 1 against Texas and how he wasn't asked to do as much as he was asked in the 2nd week of the season. But that Texas defense, I still believe, is one of, if not the best in the country. And so I think taking both of those games into account, for me, it's nobody's. Some 2 are close, like you had mentioned, maybe Carson Beck at Miami, but that's it. And it goes to show you the job, I think, especially the coaching staff. Obviously, we've talked a lot about how they had 5 quarterbacks, and then as soon as Sane hit the portal, they went and got him because they knew this was going to be, this was going to, like the prince that was promised, you've now seen on the field from what these coaches had been seeing in his recruitment. But the job, I think, to the coaching staff, to what Brian Hartline's been doing, to what Ryan Day, to Billy Fessler, so much credit also to those guys for having him look the part so early on in the season.
I thought of Billy Fessler a couple times watching that game because Lincoln looked really good. Julian looked really good. And in Lincoln, you could tell there were nerves right at the beginning, but then he even made a couple throws. Now, there's obviously a difference there in those guys. But just, it seems like Billy Fessler, and we heard Will Howard give him so much praise after the season last year. I thought of Billy Fessler quite a bit. And listen, I think Ryan Day has done a fantastic job assembling a coaching staff that is just top notch. And that's, listen, at Ohio State, that can be easy to do, but it can also be difficult because you're losing coaches every year. You got 2 brand new coordinators on this staff right now, and I'm sure Ryan's helping Brian a lot, but Brian has been groomed for this. It just seems like everything they're doing coaching-wise right now is a hit.
It is. They're pressing all of the right buttons. And you just see these waves of, like Bo Jackson gets on the field and you just go, my goodness, Riley Pettijohn is shot out of a flipping cannon. That kid is shot out of a cannon. But I had somebody say, we got to get 20 more run. Okay. Well, who are you taking off the field? 8 or 0? Can't take them off. I'm with you. The kid is not at all. None of this is too big for him. He's a star, absolute star, and is going to be here for a long time. But that's just it. You just look at the depth behind depth, player behind player. They're in a hell of a spot right now. It's the preeminent program in the country for a reason. It's not going anywhere. And the crazy thing for everybody else is it's only going to get better. And the thing that is most jarring to me 2 weeks in is you juxtapose what this team has been through 2 weeks. And we're not overreacting to Grambling. We're taking into account the Texas win, too. It's a 2-week sample size that we're looking at here. It's 2 weeks, right? And you tell me who's done better. It's a short list. It's probably Oregon who's in the conversation with you, but it's a very short list. There aren't many, and they are ahead of schedule from what we all thought they would be. Now, Ryan's not going to want to hear any of this. He's not going to want his players to hear any of this because they got to keep building towards this thing. And I saw Washington score 70 over the weekend. Washington's going to be tricky at the end of the month. But so far, so good for your Buckeyes. We'll blitz the Buckeyes coming up at 11 o'clock. A wild weekend nationally in college football as well. Who's good? Who's not? It's coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Nobody has more all-wheel drive or electrified hybrid choices than Toyota, including the best-selling Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through September 30th, get 4.75 APR financing on any new 25 Camry or lease a Camry LE from just $279 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
At CME, many of our team members are certified financial counselors, trained to help you budget smarter, tackle debt, and build a plan for your financial goals. They offer free confidential support exclusively for CME members with real-world guidance. Whether you're starting from scratch or need a plan for a specific financial journey, our counselors are here to help. No judgment, just support. Let's move forward together. Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit cmefcu.org for additional details.
Get eco.
Hey, Aaron, you know how we say eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians? Yeah? So, that makes for a lousy acronym. PHVAC. Doesn't work. Okay, but... So what if we change it to plumbing, heating, AC, and electrical? PHACE. Face. With a PH.
Get eco.
No one is going to remember face with a PH. Call ECO today and ask for a face man with a PH. No one is going to ask for a face man with a PH. Sure they will.
Get eco.
Besides, we spent thousands of dollars saying plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians. You can't just change it to face man with a PH. It could be big, Aaron. I don't think so. Would you rather I go back to inventing random household items and stop messing with your catchphrase? Yes, please.
Get eco.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians, not face men. With a PH.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Is there anything better than a college football Saturday? Not if you're at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Join the Fan for watch parties for the games this season. Oh, you got to check out the display case of amazing autographed autographed prizes you can win. It's beautiful. 2 massive TV walls to watch the national champs. Watch and place wagers with over 30 kiosks. Contests, prizes, and live shows. Must be 21 or older to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT and cybersecurity? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
The Fan 2 is on the air. Catch the Bob and Tom Show in the morning and Jim Rome in the afternoon. And Buckeye stuff and Reds 2 in the NFL. It's lots of stuff. You get the picture. It's the Fan 2 live on 1460 AM, the Fan app, and the Fan's HD2.
He's at the 10, the 5, touchdown. This is what the Buckeyes train so hard for.
Just like Valvoline Instant Oil Change, their techs train like pros to deliver expert service every time.
Wait, are we talking football or oil changes?
Both. Whether it's the Buckeyes on the field or your car in the bay, it's all about preparation and precision.
Can't argue with that.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Visit VIOC.com/Buckeyes today.
If you're itching for a new vehicle this fall, you have to go see my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Hey, it's Anthony. I drive an awesome Ridgeline, and you can drive home the rugged 25 Ridgeline Sport with 0% APR or lease for as low as $299 a month. Or go for the looks and reliability of a 2025 Honda Accord LX, just 3.99% APR or lease it from only $199 a month. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270, and GermainHondaofDublin.com.
All your favorite Fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. After putting up with Dom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, we'll go around the Big Ten coming up here in just a little bit. Nationally, what jumped out this weekend? The game I think all of us were most curious about once our game went final, and honestly, you probably lost curiosity if you weren't a lunatic like us looking for every freshman to play about halftime of the Ohio State game, was Oklahoma-Michigan. Now, I watched Underwood play last week against New Mexico and came away pretty floored by just the talent. The arm talent, all of it. But this was different. This was playing in Norman against Oklahoma. And accuracy-wise, if you just watch the stat line, you would say the moment was too big for him. If you watch the game, I don't think you'd make that case. I know it's odd because of the way that it looks statistically, but at no point did I think that it seemed like he couldn't handle the moment. And that is a big thing for them going forward. Now, the big negative from their perspective is Sherrone Moore's out the next 2 weeks. So he can't be in the building, he can't be anywhere. So this is different than the Harbaugh one, where Harbaugh was still in the building, but he just couldn't coach on games. Sherrone Moore's out the next 2 weeks. Can't be at practice, can't be in the facility, can't be anywhere. So he's on a 2-week vacation. The big takeaway for me, though, in that game was Johnny Mateer and Oklahoma. And his gear in the run game is a little bit different. He's a slippery runner. He's got a really live arm. You watching him, there's a lot of Baker vibes to him. That's kind of what I got, was a lot of Baker vibes. And I liked Oklahoma in the run-up to the season. Obviously, their schedule is difficult, although I'm not sure it's quite as difficult because I don't know if the SEC is quite as good as everybody thinks it is. We'll have more on that in a second. But he looked, to me, Oklahoma served notice that they're going to be a team to reckon with as the season goes along.
Yeah, just looking at what Oklahoma's got in front of them, like I see numbers next to Missouri and Ole Miss and Auburn, but I wonder, are those just there because at this point in the season, the AP poll and the coaches poll, we got to put somebody in the top 25? Because I have the same questions that you do about the rest of the SEC. I mean, there are a couple teams that, I know they're top 15, top 25 guys, but I do think with what Oklahoma, legitimate top 15 team, I do think it was more to what Venables and his staff have been able to build in Norman and what that kind of culminated in Saturday night against Michigan, more so than how bad Underwood is. Or Michigan right now is not very dynamic on offense. And I do think that's something, as a lot of teams putting out new quarterbacks have to do. They just got to iron some things out through the course of a long season. And that's going back to what we've been saying about Julian Sain, what makes it so impressive what Ohio State's done, because it doesn't look like they need to do that at all. But and similarly with Mateer in Oklahoma, like they're ready to go right now. Michigan still needs some time. And I don't know if, it's directional Michigan this week. Nebraska looks okay. So in 2 weeks for Michigan, like this could be a long slog if they're not able to build up a little more dynamism. They're not really dynamic offensively. And so they've got to find that. It's going to be a long haul for the Wolverines.
I can't judge Bryce Underwood, quite frankly, off of that game, his first time on the road against a big-time opponent. And listen, I think we forget that Oklahoma defense, even though Oklahoma wasn't good last year, their defense was a top 10 defense in the country. And they brought almost all of that defense back. And Brent Venables, who is the head coach, but he's still calling the defense, is one of the best we've ever seen in college football at calling defenses. So I can't hold that Underwood's numbers in that game aren't great against him, just like I didn't hold week 1 against Arch Manning because Ohio State's defense was just that good and didn't give him any open receivers to throw to. So I take away from Saturday night that, as we thought, Bo, Oklahoma is really, really good. And I don't think Saturday night says much about Michigan to me. It says more about Oklahoma.
Yeah. And I think their ceiling's a little different with Mateer. There's a level they're going to be able to get to with him because he just grabbed. He was a lot like Will Howard here, but it took like the Penn State game for Will to grab the program by the throat. This guy's got the program by the throat week 1.
And, Bo, you mentioned the comparison to Baker a little bit. I believe Herbie said that on the broadcast, or whoever was doing the game. Was it Herbie that was calling the game?
Yeah, it was Herbie and Fowler.
Yeah, one of them said that it kind of reminded them of Baker a little bit.
Just the way he goes about his business, just kind of the juice that he carries with him. It kind of had that Bake vibe to it. I'm going to tell you something else that don't think we haven't noticed. What did Missouri do to be ranked? What did Auburn do to be ranked? What did Ole Miss do to be ranked? What did they do to be ranked? 3 teams in the SEC at the bottom of the poll. There are 9 SEC teams ranked. Are we sure? You sure there's 9 that need to be ranked? Meantime, in the Big Ten, where's USC ranked? Been pretty good first 2 weeks. Blue blood program, a lot of talent. Been pretty good. Reese mentioned Nebraska. Where's Nebraska? Why is Nebraska not ranked? Where's Washington? Washington's good, by the way.
That's going to be fun in a couple weeks in Seattle.
Yeah. But the SEC continues to get such an incredible benefit of the doubt. Auburn's ranked. Missouri's ranked. Bama, 1-1, ranked. Tennessee, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, South Carolina. South Carolina is ranked 11th in the country. I'm going to tell you something. South Carolina is not the 11th best team in the country. Not by a damn stretch. They look terrible against South Carolina State. Their win is against Virginia Tech, who just got bombed over the weekend. And their South Carolina, top 10 matchup in Columbia. Oh, go to hell. Come on. Come on. Stop it. Stop it. They are not the 11th ranked team in the country. They're not. How in the hell is South Carolina ranked ahead of Oklahoma right now?
Those preseason polls.
Exactly. It's exactly right, Reese. It's exactly right.
You got to stop saying they don't matter, because that right there, to your point, tells me they do, and should tell everybody with the double-digit IQ.
Yes. They matter way too much. Way too much. It's crazy that South Carolina is ranked ahead of Iowa State, that South Carolina is ranked ahead of Oklahoma, that South Carolina is ranked ahead of South Florida. South Florida whipped Boise State week 1, and they went into the swamp. Spitting helped and beat Florida. By the way, you want to get fired, Billy Napier? Lose to South Florida. That's how you get fired at the University of Florida.
Gosh,
lose those games.
The Gators have LSU, Miami, and Texas, and then A&M in the next 4 weeks. The next 4 games, I should say.
It's going to be a bloodbath. One thing quickly on Arch. Something I watched a lot of that. I watched almost that whole first half of him. It was on one of my screens. They played the noon game. He don't look right. He doesn't. And I saw there's a video going around of him really grimacing as he throws. Something seems off with him, for sure. Go ahead, Reese.
I was just going to say, so the Bears got a podcast, and he had this on Friday.
A little birdie said Arch might be a little banged up on his shoulder. So maybe,
are we breaking news?
He's going to be fine, but I don't think he was 100% going into that Ohio State game. And then you look at San Jose State last week, lost to Central.
So I think it was not Heather. It might have been Heather Dinich that had a tweet on Saturday during their game against San Jose State. It's like, what's with Arch's throwing mechanism?
Yeah. It just doesn't seem right for him. I don't know how it could have happened in the lead up to Ohio State. He would have been hands off. Look, that doesn't even make sense. Could have happened in our game. Go ahead, Bake.
I was going to say real quick, and just on some of these SEC things, I will say I will stick up a little bit for Auburn and Missouri here, because Auburn, I think, has a pretty quality win over Baylor, who we both think is a pretty good team. And you talked about Baker Mayfield and Johnny Mateer looking the same. I feel like Jackson Arnold looks a lot like Bo Nix in that Auburn uniform. He's played pretty well, and it looks similar to what I remember of Bo Nix there. And then Bo Pabula has been pretty good for Missouri. His numbers are pretty awesome, and they have a really good defense.
That's fine, but then take South Carolina out.
That's fair.
I don't need 9 ranked teams out of the SEC. That's my issue with it. You're right on those 2 points, and certainly Auburn's win those are nice. And it's a nice win over Kansas too for Missouri. Those are nice, but 9 of them ranked. Stop it. All right, we've put it off long enough. Browns, Bengals, Battle of Ohio coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on the Buckeye Show. News, special guests, and everything scarlet and gray. The Fan.
Earn 2% cash back on purchases and pay 0% APR on balance transfers for 15 months with a new Kemba Financial Credit Union Visa. That's more rewards and less interest. Apply at Kemba.org. For purchases and balance transfers made in the first 90 days, restrictions apply. APR equals annual percentage rate. Variable and subject to change. Equal opportunity lender. Expires 10/31/25.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here. After retiring from professional football, I never expected that me, Bobby, I'd have low testosterone. So I went to my friends over at Affinity. I got my labs done, and now I've been on a testosterone replacement plan with Affinity for 8+ years. Best of all, they've supplemented it with peptides and lots of other great products. Learn why me and thousands of men trust the experts at Affinity to feel their best. Get more energy, better workouts, feel like yourself again. And do not waste another day. Get started at feelgreatcolumbus.com today.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Common Man here. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free and no interest for 3 whole years. Restrictions apply. Call 614-502-5220. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Scotty Vegas here. Smartest bet of the season? Bet on yourself. I needed a weight loss plan that fit into real life. Tailgates, road trips, kids' nights, and still lets you eat. Week 1 with Awaken 180, I was down 6. By the end, 45 pounds gone. That's with wings, chili, meatballs, sausages, all the good stuff. It's the Tailgate transformation. Structure, coaching, and food that tastes like a win. Make the smart play. Start your Tailgate transformation at awaken180weightloss.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Listen up, players. You won't want to miss this. Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose.
So you could turn that $300 into something bigger when you bet on money lines, spreads, totals, or player props.
$300 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T's and C's apply. In-app only.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
That nagging pain, you know the one. Sometimes it's from years of hard work. Sometimes it's an old injury that never healed right. Either way, it's been calling the shots in your life for too long. But that stops right now. I'm Tyvis Powell, and QC Kinetics is here in Columbus to flip the script. Dr. Wolkoff and his team use regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatment that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints. Not covering it up, not cutting it out. Actually helping heal and restore. And the results, long-term lasting relief. So instead of planning your day around pain, you're planning it around life. QC Kinetics, no surgery, no drugs, no long recovery, just a smarter, natural way to get your freedom back. Check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. Bring your MRIs, your x-rays. They'll make sure you're a good candidate. The consultation is free. Just call QC Kinetics at 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Parents, are your teens good with money? No. Switch to Huntington Bank and let's teach them. They get their own card, which they can add to their digital wallet, and you can monitor and set spending limits. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. For the first time since 2021, the Cincinnati Bengals are off to a 1-0 start. DJ Turner's interception sealed their 17-16 win over the Browns yesterday in Cleveland. Browns kicker Andre Schmidt missed an extra point and a 32-yard field goal in the second half. Cleveland's at Baltimore Sunday at 1. Ravens could be in a bad mood after blowing a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter last night in Buffalo. Matt Prater nailed a 32-yard field goal as time expired to lift the Bills over the Ravens 41-40. Week 1 in the NFL wraps up tonight with the Bears hosting the Vikings at 8:15. You can hear that game on the Fan after Buckeye Roundtable. Number 1 Ohio State looks to improve to 3-0, hosting Ohio University Saturday night at 7. Ohio State's Ryan Day will join the Roundtable program Monday night around 6:35. This update is sponsored by Germain Toyota, the best selection of new and used cars in Central Ohio. View their full selection of vehicles online at germaintoyota.net.
Football season is weird because we actually look forward to Mondays. It's Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. Pull up a stool and ask the bartender for something neat because Uncle Bo is on the radio. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, typically the way that works around here on in the football season is the Monday is heavy college football. And then the Tuesday show, we will go heavy NFL. We will always talk a little Browns and Bengals on a Monday, but the in-depth breakdown will come tomorrow. This is the time for the Browns and Bengals chat.
I don't want to.
You remember when Ohio State lost to Clemson in the national semifinal in 19? And we said there were 10 things that had to happen for Ohio State to lose that game. Threes and I came on and we did a reaction and we went through, there were 10 different things that had to happen in the game for Ohio State to lose that game. There were 4 things that had to happen in the game yesterday for the Cleveland Browns to lose to the Cincinnati Bengals. And I think really all 4 had to happen. Number 1, Andre Schmidt had to miss an extra point and he had to miss a field goal. Those 2 things had to happen. If he hits the extra point, then we keep playing football. He didn't, missed it, and so it changed the way that the rest of that game had to go. Missed the field goal with a little over 2 minutes to go. Tough pill to swallow. You had to have Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman passes go into their hands, and then somehow, instead of going to the ground, flip up into the hands of Bengals defensive backs. Mm-hmm. Both of those things had to happen. So from both perspectives, we're in a results-based business. And what matters is you play to win the games, and the Browns didn't win the games. But in terms of their approach, what they are at their heart, I think you saw that in the game on Sunday. You saw a defensive line that's a problem. Big-time problem. Now, some of that could be Cincinnati's weakness, or maybe it's just kryptonite between Cincinnati and Cleveland, and they just play a little bit different on that defensive line when they go up against Burrow. I don't know, but I tell you what, if Joe Burrow doesn't see Myles Garrett the rest of his life, it'd be the best ever, because
he almost
Myles
killed him that one play.
The one when he came around the middle?
Yeah, he almost killed him.
You imagine somebody Myles' size coming right down the pipe at you, and then Burrow stood in there to make the throw? Crazy. And I think you saw, like, Dylan Sampson's a pretty good weapon. They threw it at him 8 times. He caught all 8.
He must have been really hurt in that CFP game against Ohio State because, boy, he flashed really well yesterday for Cleveland.
He did. He looked really good. You saw him use Isaiah Bond. Pretty good. Harold Fannin Jr. might be their most reliable receiver and a true weapon.
I don't think it's a might be.
Yeah.
I think that's fact.
Stud.
He was awesome in this game. Joe Flacco is pretty damn good. If you didn't watch the game, and most people out there listening now probably did, but if you didn't, you'd see two interceptions from Flacco, and you go, well, that's not going to, that, of course, that's what Flacco does. Neither of those are on him. I thought he was wildly accurate. Now, I don't know how sustainable it is for a 40-plus-year-old dude, but he threw for 290, and the 2 picks aren't on him. So that's the glasses half full from the Cleveland side. The glasses half empty is, of course. Because of course those 4 things would happen.
I'm trying to see something where the Bengals did better than Cleveland yesterday, and only in points scored.
Yeah.
To Cincinnati
kicking,
having
interceptions.
Kicking points scored to my point. As frustrating of a loss as I can remember for Cleveland, because you even talked about Fannin had a bad drop, and for this team, there's almost no way to explain the Brownsian level to somebody who's not watched Cleveland Browns football. Like, how could this have happened to Cleveland? Where I don't know if this happens to any other team. I was watching the game at a friend's house, driving home, listening to the Cleveland Browns postgame show with Tyvis, and someone called in and said the Browns are cursed. And Jeff Phelps wasn't having any of it, because of course. Yeah. But I was sitting there going, yep, that's a cursed franchise.
If you would have told me on Friday that Joe Flacco would have 2.5 times the amount of yards passing that Joe Burrow did, and that the Browns would outrush the Bengals, I would have told you were crazy. And then if you would have told me, no, that's true, that happened, and they lost the game, as a Browns fan, I'd have been like, yeah, I guess I could see that. And you
crazy.
Just expect it. But we were talking before the show. Yesterday was just like, to me, a microcosm of the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 2 organizations. Cleveland has 2 balls go off their hands right up into the defender's arm. Pittsburgh has a ball go off a wide receiver's hand, hit his own player, bounce right back to him on his belly, and they end up scoring. Like, it's just... that's my life, I feel like, as a Browns fan.
Well, and I had those on my setup. So I go 3 TVs. So I have the Browns-Bengal game was on primary. Then one of the secondary TVs was Jets Steelers, and then Red Zone on a third TV. So that's my Sunday setup is I go that way with the 3 TV setup. So I'm watching all of these things happen, and those things happen pretty close to the same time.
Yeah. Was it Tillman's and
the Metcalf and the Tillman one happened within a couple of minutes in real time of each other. You'd have to try. I don't know, like, how many times it would take for Tillman and Judy to get their hands. Now, the ball was a little low, but to get both hands on a ball that low, and somehow, if you task them with find a way to flip this into a defensive back's arms, it would be a tough task to do. And it happened twice, where it flipped up. The hard thing for Cleveland is going to be, because they didn't get the result, and they played the way that they're really built to play at the highest level that you can play it. I mean, you can't ask for more from that defense than what it did. You can't. The problem is they got the Bengals this week. And then you got to play still here in this first 6, Detroit, didn't go good for them in week 1. Green Bay, very good for them in week 1. And Pittsburgh. Like, that's what you're staring at. So there's no room for this. This was one they had to get because of the way they played. They had to have it. Now, on the Cincinnati thing, man, they can't block it, boys. They can't block it at all. Now, some of it is Cleveland's got a really good front, but Cincinnati's offensive front is not great. It's not. And the Browns don't have a ton of playmakers that make you go scary. And Joe Flacco threw for 290. He threw for 290.
Yeah, we said that the Bengals defense was going to be a problem. And I do think, like, Trey Hendrickson made an impact on that game. And I think that's why it was so important to give him that raise and make him happy going into the season, because it's like, what would Cincinnati's defense, you could say it can't get much worse, but it would be worse without Trey Hendrickson. So I think it's a good job by them by doing that. And to Cleveland's defense, there's not much more you could ask from them. And I think Cincinnati does get the benefit of not having to see that kind of a defense, at least in the next 2 weeks, I think.
They got Jacksonville this week, yeah.
And you can have some faith that with Joe Burrow not having to see Myles Garrett until later on in the season. And also, I think for him, you know what your offensive line is now. And I think you can, for Joe Burrow, because I don't have much faith in Zach Taylor, but I have faith in Joe Burrow to kind of to make the offense work around that deficiency because of the talent they have catching the football.
Bo, real quick, I know we shifted, but I just want to go back real quick and repeat that for the Browns. The next 5-6 weeks here. Ravens at Ravens, the Packers, at the Lions, in London against the Vikings, at the Steelers.
Yeah.
That is just about as brutal of a stretch as you can have. And if you're the Bengals, man, you got to take that one yesterday, and then you've got to parlay it into a win next week against the Jaguars, because then you're at the Vikings, at the Broncos, which is never an easy trip, and that's going to be Monday Night Football, versus the Lions, at the Packers, and then you're taking on the Steelers at home. So they definitely need to get out to this 2-0 start.
Yeah, I think the thing that's really tough for a Browns fan so Cincinnati, you win when you don't play at your best. That's what you do when you're going to be a playoff team, is you win when you're not at your best. And they did. They won when they weren't at their best. And so put that down. And I guarantee every Bengals fan looked at the start of that season, go 2-0. Got to be 2-0. Because they looked at it the way you did, Bake. And they go, there's going to be some losses in here. But let's get this. That stretch of them playing Denver, Detroit, and was it Green Bay? Those 3 in a row for Cincinnati? I mean, all 3 of those have pass rushes in the vicinity of Cleveland's. So they got to get that thing sorted out. From the Cleveland side, and we'll hear from everybody on all of this tomorrow, from the Cleveland side, what is so tough to swallow is you did everything you were supposed to do to win, and you failed at the little stuff. Extra points, field goals, turning the ball over, receivers off your hands, drops. You're right, Fannin had a drop, too, on a critical third down. You kept the ball out of Burrow's hands. It was the game plan executed to perfection, except for it wasn't. Missed field goals and turnovers. That's it. You did everything else the way you were supposed to. And you can see how they're going to go about their business when they get Quinshon Judkins back and they run the power game with him, and they have Sampson as the lightning option. Go ahead, Rick.
I just do have a quick question, because both teams, I think, had the worst week 1. Cleveland and Baltimore meet Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Oh, God.
I don't even know how. Monday Night Football, or Sunday Night Football, but woof.
Man, I don't know what Baltimore. I mean, that's brutal to be up 16 in the 4th and lose a game. And they had a lot in that game. A lot. Much more on the NFL coming up tomorrow on the program. Get into it a little bit more later as well. Let's go around the Big Ten coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here in the Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Listen up. ESPN Unlimited is now included at no extra cost with Spectrum TV. Spectrum gives you everything from ESPN, live games, original series, top analysis, and more. Spectrum is really stepping up with this offer, and you get more of me. Stephen A. Smith. Get your act together and go to spectrum.com/entertainment for details. ESPN Unlimited and more popular streaming apps are included at no extra cost with Spectrum TV. Restrictions apply.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron, you know how we say eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians?
Yeah?
So, that makes for a lousy acronym. PHVAC. Doesn't work.
Okay, but...
So what if we change it to plumbing, heating, AC, and electrical? PHACE. Face. With a PH.
Get Eco.
No one is going to remember face with a PH.
Call Eco today and ask for a face man with a PH.
No one is going to ask for a face man with a PH.
Sure they will.
Get Eco.
Besides, we spent thousands of dollars saying plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians. You can't just change it to face man with a PH.
It could be big, Aaron.
I don't think so.
Would you rather I go back to inventing random household items and stop messing with your catchphrase?
Yes, please.
Get Eco.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians, not face men with a PH.
Hey there. You hear that? Right? You don't. That's what it's like to order food for your workplace with EasyCater. No hold music while you wait to place your order. No tapping as you type in special dietary instructions or long, complicated searches for options in your budget. No crinkling of paper receipts. Just...
Dang, these are some tasty sandwiches.
EasyCater, the better way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Matty Ice here. Football is back, and it also marks the kickoff to huge savings at McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Right now, you can get a 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 with up to $12,000 off MSRP for qualified buyers. Just imagine riding up to your tailgate party in a brand new Silverado from McDaniel. And McDaniel GM Superstore has been family-owned and operated for over 100 years. They're just a short drive north off Route 23 on 95 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Wake up and laugh with the Bob and Tom Show on the Fan 2.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 10.
It says here they've won 5 Marconi Awards. I can't even spell Marconi. The Fan 2, Columbus's home of the Bob and Tom Show.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating. You're overwhelmed. You might not be big on technology, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Maybe you've gone through a divorce or a bad breakup or a relative moved out. It's been hard, and you just want to take what you want and leave the rest behind. I will help you. Retiring and want to sell your commercial properties or land. I will help you. Sellers, whether you're selling as is or selling for top dollar, you're no longer alone. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
An absolutely lovely start to the work week with plenty of sunshine and temperatures feeling very much like fall in the mid-70s. For tonight, clear skies overnight with our lows down into the 40s. And then for Tuesday, the sunshine is on rinse and repeat. Sunglasses will be needed, but the jacket you can put away in the afternoon with highs getting right around 80 degrees. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Our top men are working on everything except this show.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed, you are. Austin Ward coming up in 11 minutes. Bishop and Friends, sponsored, of course, by Diamond Cellar, our good buddies, and your true jeweler for over 78 years. All right, Ohio State's real in the Big Ten. Oregon is very real. That was really difficult to wrap your head around. What Oregon was doing. They were. I watched a lot of that as I was watching our game. It was on one of the other screens. I was curious how they went about their business. Oklahoma State. I didn't realize how bad it had gotten that quickly for him there, because there was no difference between what Ohio State did to Grambling than what Oregon did to Oklahoma State. It was the same game. It was just however you want to score, as much as you want to do it. There was no pushback. That's Oklahoma State.
I do think the Cowboys starting Zane Flores, he was, I think he's either a true freshman or a freshman, like this being his first start at Autzen Stadium, because they didn't trust him at all, but he was pretty bad.
He was, but you're still Oklahoma State. Like, you're not a 1AA. Like, I mean, you're a power conference team. Not long ago, within a decade, they were a team that was in the mix, that would start the year. They'd be ranked in the top 10 when Des Bryant and Brandon Weeden and all that was going on. I mean, that's 15 years ago. But even more recently than that, they've had some teams that had a little bit of interest, but they fell off a cliff. They fell off an absolute cliff. And Oregon, with Lanning, has built something that is really close to what we have here, which is sustained greatness. They just come in waves, one after another, after another, after another. I did think of this watching. I think I made this point last week on the show, but it just kept running in my head as I was watching Oregon just go up and down the field on Oklahoma State. Gundy's got to be saying to himself, where was this 15 years ago? Where was this a decade ago? Because a decade ago, Oklahoma State is Texas Tech. If T. Boone Pickens is still alive, they've got a $40 million roster. They are Oregon if T. Boone Pickens is still alive. But this speaks to, I think, kind of the issues that you're going to have in the sport, which is if you are a program that is reliant upon a single benefactor to lift you up, and that benefactor extinguishes, as it did for T. Boone. He had a great life. He's an old man. But when that happens, the faucet gets turned off. And when you're at a place like Oklahoma State, you can't Netflix model it to get it back. So it vaporized for him. And he would have been coaching one of these teams 10 years ago. And now it's an utter mess. And obviously he'll be fired, and he probably should be fired today, honestly, by the way that it's going. But I don't know how you build that one back. But what I came away with was Ohio State and Oregon, and then I think there's a gap because 2 weeks in, I do not trust what I see from James Franklin at Penn State. They look the same to me. They look like the same old Penn State to me. They haven't covered yet. Didn't cover week 1, didn't cover week 2. I don't know why the lines are as big as they are on them. It's not how they go about their business. I'm sure they will be I'm very respectful of their talent, but it doesn't look easy for them the way that it should.
To the 5 AP voters that gave their first place vote to the Nittany Lions, what are you watching?
I don't know.
They don't have Tyler Warren this season, and the one thing they needed to do in the portal was go out and get a deep threat. And they got wide receivers. Certainly, they got players that fit that position, but I don't see those as being fixes to what ailed them last year in big moments when it mattered. Certainly against FIU and Nevada, fine, but they've got Villanova this week, which is laughable, but Ohio State just played Grambling, so you can't do too much judging there. But then when they play Oregon on the 27th, you're going to need a deep threat, Drew Aller.
They don't have one.
No.
That game, the 27th, Bo, is going to be so fascinating to me because it's Oregon's first time at Penn State at night during the whiteout. Big game for Dante Moore, who has started games but is still relatively young in his quarterbacking career. The veteran team that is Penn State, even though it doesn't look normal, that game on September 27th is just about as can't miss as any college football game is, I think.
Our game that week has not been scheduled yet. That's Washington. Is it going to have to be 3:30?
It has to be, right?
It has to be because you can't play noon.
I think it has to be a 12:30 start out there.
So 12:30
and 3:30 CBS
sucks for Washington, man.
Yeah,
that sucks for them to make them play at 12:30. Yeah, that's too bad. So those will bleed into each other. You'll watch, and I think Washington is going to be up to the task. Not suggesting that they're going to do that they're necessarily going to pull the upset, but I wouldn't put it past them. They look really good through 2 weeks. They're burying people the way that they're supposed to bury people. A couple other things around the Big Ten that I took note of over the weekend. Obviously, we talked about Michigan and their loss to Oklahoma, and they're not there yet. They're not. And I'm curious what the next 2 weeks look like without their head coach. Illinois, I put the Serrano on them. Look the part at Duke. And it was 14-13 at half, and then they avalanched them in the second half and won going away 45-19. That's a good job out of them. That makes our great leader, Mr. Fish, quite happy to get a beatdown like that in Duke. So that was acting accordingly on a big level for the Illinois football team.
And, Bo, I'm a pretty big believer in Illinois this year. I thought that was going to be a close game. I thought that was going to be tough. I thought that was going to be a one-score game. And then when I saw that it was 45-13 or 45-12 or whatever it was, I was like, oh, wow. And I've seen some people in our YouTube chat saying Illinois didn't look that good, 5 turnovers, yada, yada. But unless they're Cleveland Browns turnovers where the wide receivers are just batting the ball right to their guys, I mean, you got to force those turnovers, right? So I don't know. I didn't see, but I was surprised by the score.
Yeah, Duke did have 3 second-half turnovers, and to your point, Baker, Illinois, has to come up with those. So you do. I do think for Illinois, really good team, have looked good in the last 2 weeks. Not sure if they're the ninth highest ranked team or the 9th best team in the country, but September 20th, easy for me to say, they've got to go to Indiana. I think the Hoosiers have looked also really good in 2 weeks. Now, Kennesaw State, Old Dominion, we'll see. Indiana State, they're not going to have too much of a challenge until that game against the Hoosiers. And then, Reese, if you have their schedule up, they have a bye after that, right? And then they take on Washington. So that's going to be a tough 2-game stretch for them.
Yeah. Real quick, a couple other things jumped out to me. Michigan State holding on, or coming back, really, in the second half to beat Boston College. You had to have it. That's a nice win. Goes to a couple overtimes for that to eventually happen. The 2 Southern California schools going in opposite directions. USC is off to a nice start. They're off to a very nice start. So taking care of business, moving it down the field. Maeva went 16-24, 412, and 4 touchdowns against a Georgia Southern team. I didn't realize Clay Helton was coaching at Georgia Southern, but apparently he is, the former USC head coach. So they acted accordingly, 59-20 over Georgia Southern. And then, my God, Nico Amalieva. You want that back? You sure you don't want that back? As they drop to 0-2, losing 30-23 at UNLV? Sure you don't want to go back to Rocky Top, buddy? Holy smokes. You want to talk about life comes at you fast. I don't know where the wins are going to come for UCLA this season when you start 0-2. That's tough stuff.
I've also got a confession to make.
Go ahead.
I watched a lot more of Iowa State and Iowa than I probably should have.
That's not surprising. You're a glutton for punishment.
It was a really awful football game. Iowa's quarterback was really good at South Dakota State, and it almost looked like he forgot how to play football. Like he played better in the second half. Yeah. And I think a lot of the, grace that I've been giving some of these quarterbacks earlier in the season, I should be giving to Mark Gronowski. But boy, what the hell, Iowa?
Yeah. That was hard on the eyes. Austin Ward in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Right now, you can save on red, green, or black seedless grapes. They're only $1.49 a pound with your digital coupon. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Buckeye Country Superfest 2026 is back for one day only in Columbus, Ohio.
Saturday, June 13th at Ohio Stadium, featuring Tyler Childers, with special guests the Red Clay Strays, Lord Huron, Sierra Farrell, Flatland Cavalry, and Caitlin Butts. Register for pre-sale access now at BuckeyeCountrySuperfest.com. Tickets on sale to the general public on Friday, September 12th at 10 a.m.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay, how about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At Care, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront costs before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. Care Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
He knows everything about the Buckeyes. He's been offered tens of dollars by a certain team to spill his secrets. He's told that certain team to go to hell.
Damn you all to hell!
He's Austin Ward.
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery, your destination for handcrafted cocktails, locally inspired dishes, and award-winning whiskey war. Learn more at highbankco.com.
All right, there he is, the Beat, Austin and Berm, and the Roosters live show on YouTube. He is the great Austin Ward, and he joins us. Buddy, look, you're an outmatched opponent, but one of the things that you say around here is act accordingly, right? So handle your business, look the way that it's supposed to look. And it kind of checked every single box for me. I wanted to see a lot of the kids play. The kids played, and they thrived. I wanted to see Julian, really grab a hold of the offense, and he did. When you're in a situation like this and the opponent is so outmatched, what are you looking for?
Yeah, great question, Bo, because there's a lot out there because we love to get a look at the next wave. Saturday was an opportunity. You wanted to start. The only way you get that, let me preface this. The only way you get to look at what the freshmen look like, what the backups look like, what the rotation could look like down the road is if the starters go out there and take their cue from you and act accordingly. And I thought that was important because it tells you that the fact that they did that means that the buy-in, the week of practice, the messages from the top, Ryan Day, the position coaches on down, was absorbed. Like, if you want to relax a little bit and catch your breath and save some miles on your tires for later in the season, then get this game over with against Grambling early. And Jeremiah Smith did that. Will Kazmarek did that. Julian Sayin did that. Like, on down the road, you look at all these guys who they performed at a high level, and then that sets up your teammates for success and opportunities where they can get out there. And I watched, Zion Grady go out and get that sack, and Kenyatta Jackson and Caden Curry were as excited for them as if they had made that play themselves. And, when we talk about the defensive line, that's a play that you look at. Those guys set up the rest of the Buckeyes for success and gave us a chance to look at the future. So we can talk about the positives of the backups, or you can praise the starters for handling it. Either way, both of those things were accomplished in a game like that.
It was all of them, right? I mean, it was all of those things that we're looking for in a game like this. The kid wearing 10, I mean, we've been talking about him for a long time because we see what we've seen in the amount that we've seen in practices. And his release is just so supreme. And now this fan base is starting to see it as well. He's so accurate. I don't know if he threw one ill-timed ball that ended up in an interception, but I don't think he's thrown an inaccurate pass all season through 2 games, Austin. And I think that this is just the tip of the iceberg for him. What do you make 2 games in of Julian?
Yeah, I think I can't make too much of the vibes. Sometimes I'm guilty of that, but the way that Julian has carried himself over the last 3 or 4 weeks since he was named the starter, since he got the full endorsement of the coaching staff in the locker room, I think, I don't know, it just the time that we talked to him in the first couple weeks of camp, it was like a little on edge, and then you combine that with Ryan Day's comments about commanding the huddle and leadership in the locker room and all those things that he was waiting to see. I think that is showing up in a big way, just the way that he carries himself, the way that teammates respond to him on the sideline, in post-game, during pregame, all those things. We never had any question whatsoever about the arm talent and the accuracy and the release, all the things that you mentioned, Bo. Like, that was the upside with that was always clear. To become the comprehensive, complete version that is required to play quarterback at Ohio State. That was the part that we were waiting to see it, and it wasn't skepticism. It was just patience, and I think that you're starting to see that unlocked with Julian Sayin, and the way that now Ryan Day and Brian Hartline are talking about what they can do with the passing attack. It's like, okay, I don't know how you stop this version of the Ohio State offense. I think that they'd still like to maybe run the football a little bit more consistently, and we can tie that in with Bo Jackson and what he did in the second half, Isaiah West. But when it comes to what this passing attack can do, I'm not sure that there's a limit, because Julian Sayin is, tapping into this thing very quickly, and we'll see if it stays on the same C.J. Stroud-like trajectory, but sure feels like that's where it's heading.
It really does. And I think in a way, I said this off the top of the show, buddy, I think that this season, this schedule kind of set up perfectly. And the way that I kind of described it is, okay, you get kind of a showcase Super Bowl out of the gates. You win it, but you had a specific game plan because what you were trying to do in that game was get the win. And now, the way that this is going, you get an outmatched opponent last week, another one this week, although Ohio will be a step up. Then you get a bye, then a real test at Washington. It's almost like you played this Super Bowl that showcased, you get that metric, and now you have like a couple of preseason games to build towards conference play, the bye week right before conference play. It's almost like the perfect schedule, and I think what we're seeing is them building towards what they're going to be in November. And I think that offensively, this is going to be a team that spends it a lot. Where do you kind of sit on the schedule and the way that Ohio State appears to be attacking it?
Yeah, I think when you referenced Texas in that game plan and the way that the schedule set up, I mean, you had to treat that differently. It wasn't just that you were opening with a college football playoff contender and one of the best defenses in the country. You also weren't entirely sure how much you could ask Julian Sayin to do against that team and for his first start. And now as you alluded to, Bo, the only thing that really makes the schedule perfect now is that you beat Texas and you executed that game plan. Either way, you were going to be going into week 1 2.0 is what I called Saturday, because you had a new sort of exhibition game, and then you had which, again, I thought kudos to Grambling, by the way. I want to make this point. They tried to win the game. They ran a full offense. They tried stuff on defense. That was meaningful for Ohio State. That was not a team that collected the check and wanted to get out there as quickly as possible, which I think gives us another look at what Ohio State was hoping to accomplish, both on offense and defense, and where it can go moving forward. If anybody thought, oh boy, what's going to happen to Jeremiah's numbers, or can you get Carnell Tate more involved based on what happened against Texas, that was a one-off. That was an isolated situation, and then you wipe the slate clean, and now you start ramping up, and Saturday was a better indication. I don't know how many teams are going to choose to cover or not cover Jeremiah the way Grambling did. That's probably not the smartest way, but also you can see what happens if you devote too much attention to him, because Carnell Tate is awesome, and Brandon Ennis is a weapon, and all 5 tight ends, not just 4, 5 tight ends now are getting involved for Ohio State and putting stress on the defense as well. So I do think that, if there was an indication or a concern, or however you want to view it, coming out of Texas, that it was like, this might be the scaled back version of the Buckeyes for a while. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that they very consciously approached that game in a more conservative way, and now you have an opportunity to push the pedal a little bit and get more aggressive. And the best way you do that is with the best receivers in America and a 5-star quarterback who's going to get better every week from here on out.
Freshman popped, didn't they, man? I mean, Pettijohn is shot out of a cannon. Bo Jackson, and then you mentioned Grady. The one thing I'll use Pettijohn as an example. So people go, we got to get him on the field. I'm like, well, who are you going to take off? 8 or 0? You're not taking them off. So like, yes, he looks great. Now, 25 might be different. Of those young kids who really popped in the second half, who forces themselves to be played in times of the game where it really matters?
Yeah, I think Bo Jackson is maybe closest to that point. And the thing that struck me, Bo, I was down on the sideline for pretty much the whole fourth quarter. I don't know when you sent your 3 things, but I sent first thoughts in the middle of third quarter. And so I went down. Yeah, so I went down, and spent some time on the sideline in the fourth quarter, and Bo's run there towards the end zone on that final drive was like right in front of me, and he was out of bounds, but then the ball came loose. And I don't bring that up as like, oh, well, that's the cause for concern. It's the ball security. It's the way that Ryan Day and Carlos Lachlan immediately pulled him to the sideline and talked to him about that. Like, it didn't count, and it wasn't an actual fumble, but anybody else, you can kind of be like, oh, just come to the sideline and take a seat. It was, here's the message. If you want to play next week against Ohio, if you want to be involved against Washington, this is the attention to detail that's required. Really got after them. And maybe that would have happened to anybody else. Maybe it's another situation where I see one thing and overreact to it. But it felt like the coaching point was hammered home differently because the guy had 9 yards on 9 carries. Like against anybody, that's not easy to do. So if you see that and you're waiting for the explosiveness and you see the physicality and you're wondering what the rushing attack is going to look like and you maybe have wanted more from C.J. Donaldson or James Peoples in the first couple of weeks, then the opportunity is there for Bo Jackson. And he got the, I think, message and the coaching instruction that tells me the coaching staff believes he can help this team, and it's sooner than later. And as quickly as he can absorb that attention to detail, then the reps will go up accordingly.
I think that's the perfect read out of you, buddy. I took note of that too. When you see that, that means you're special. That means we're coaching you hard, buddy. Love it. Yep. Great stuff, buddy. As always, out of you. We'll do it again next week. Thanks for your time.
Can't wait. See you, Bo.
All right, there he goes. Austin Ward, The Beat with Austin and Berm, and the Roosters live show on YouTube. We'll do a little thing or not a thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help Chad.
Hi, I'm Chad. I've been taking the low T treatment at Tri-State Men's Health for a little under a year now. So I was really just struggling with finding the energy to accomplish the things I wanted to do every day. By the end of the workday, I was very drained and tired and found it hard to concentrate and get my job done, and was looking for something to kind of get that edge back. Once I started taking the treatment, I felt probably within the first 2 to 3 weeks more energy. And the thing that really I noticed right away was sleeping. Now I get a solid 8 hours. I'm going on vacation. I'm enjoying myself. So men out there, if you're struggling with any of the symptoms I was, low energy, brain fog, lack of sleep, I would highly recommend you call Tri-State Men's Health. You won't regret it.
Thanks, Chad. It's true. Low T therapy will likely change your life. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the Tin Man.
Matty Ice here from McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. I recently bought a brand new Chevy Trax for McDaniel GM Superstore. It was by far the best car purchase I have ever made. And right now you can get a 2025 Trax at McDaniel GM Superstore for as low as $21,995. And with over 40 in stock, you know you'll find the perfect one for you. They're just a short drive north off Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. McDaniel GM Superstore, where great deals meet a century of trust. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet Store.
Visit the Good Feet Store today. Walk-ins are always welcome. Visit the Good Feet Store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road in Grove City.
Hey there. You hear that? Right. You don't. That's what it's like to order food for your workplace with Easy Cater. No hold music while you wait to place your order. No tapping as you type in special dietary instructions or long, complicated searches for options in your budget. No crinkling of paper receipts. Just...
Dang, these are some tasty sandwiches.
Easy Cater, the better way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Dormar, you're pilot hero. Your new Columbus home for the Jim Rome Show is The Fan 2.
Catch the live experience weekdays from 3 to 6.
Just one requirement. Have a take and don't suck. The Fan 2, Columbus's home of the Jim Rome Show.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
Pete Rose broke Ty Cobb's hit record back in 1985, not just once, but twice. How did that happen? Well, Cobb was credited with 4,191 hits in his career, but historians found a couple of mistakes in the scorebooks, and it turned out Cobb only had 4,189 hits. But Major League Baseball kept the official mark where it was when Cobb retired at 4,191. And Pete broke that record on September 11th. But on this September 8th in Chicago, Pete had hit number 4,190, a single to left field, which broke Cobb's actual record. Pete Rose becomes the hit king for the first time this September 8, 1985. This date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Columbus, Worthington, Air, and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
If you love a good pie analogy,
think of the cap as a pie, and once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy.
then this is the radio show for you. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed, you are. Time for a little thing or not a thing on a Monday edition. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right, so we already knew this, but the Atlantic Coast Conference is a weird place. NC State beat Virginia Saturday 35-31. That win for the Wolfpack will not count in the conference win-loss column because it wasn't technically an ACC game. When the conference expanded to 17 games in 2024, the schedule makers had Virginia and NC State playing just once between 2035 and 2030. Rather than wait for their next game, both schools scheduled a home-and-home series outside of the official format, so it was a non-conference game. Then there's this. What would be a college game day candidate is now relegated to 4 o'clock on the CW network. This from Stuart Mandel between number 18 South Florida and number 5 Miami. Thing or not a thing?
Okay. There's a lot to digest here. So, I mean, this just is how stupid this sport has gotten, that two teams that played each other every year for probably 50, 60 years no longer play every year so that we could add SMU, Stanford, and Cal to a league that is quite simply the very first word in describing itself is Atlantic. And there's nothing Atlantic about any of those teams, but that's how stupid all of this gotten. So good job out of NC State and Virginia for scheduling it every year. I guess what's stopping us from doing the same? If they're Big Ten teams that we don't play every year, I mean, schedule Penn State out of conference. Let's play them week one.
Yeah, like they're going to do that.
Well, no, of course they won't. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's your way around it. If you want to play USC, just play them as a non-conference game. You can do it that way. So maybe there's some thought to that going forward of making sure that you play the games that you really want to see. So I think that's a good job out of NC State and Virginia. Now the second part, I also don't understand. So how did the CW scoop up that? Are there just too many games for ESPN this weekend that they can't carry it? Because they would have the first rights to it.
I'm guessing they're probably doing Clemson, Georgia Tech from the ACC. That's what I would guess.
So, yeah, that's the noon ESPN game.
Noon. But they own the ACC. I mean, in the three, so they got ESPN has that in the noon, Clemson, Georgia Tech. Then the 3:30, they've got Georgia, Tennessee is I think that's where game day is this week. That's your 3:30 ABC game. And then ESPN doesn't look like they have a 3, or maybe
their
it's just
3:30 is the backyard brawl with Pittsburgh at West Virginia.
And you take, I don't know. Then their night game is Arkansas and Ole Miss. The night game on ABC is Florida LSU. So, Yeah, weird weekend. That's strange that somebody didn't scoop up USF Miami.
Well,
although, quite honestly, there's zero national interest in that game.
Right.
That's it right there.
And the CW had SMU Baylor, which turned out to be a pretty wild game.
Yeah.
I think this is a thing because, like you said, Bo, good job out of these schools for saying, we don't care. We're going to play each other anyway. We don't care if it's a conference game or not. And it's just one of the things that as we advance in college football, what we're doing, we're just expanding conferences, and we don't care about the rivalries and the traditions anymore. These are things that are happening. And I applaud both of these schools for playing that game because there's a lot of schools out there, not looking at you, Indiana, that was like, no, we don't want to play Virginia. They're too tough.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
out.
right.
I'm out.
Yeah.
2 winning tickets for Saturday's $1 billion Powerball were sold in Missouri and in Texas. With the final ticket sales, the Powerball jackpot came in at $1.787 billion. That's the second largest U.S. lottery jackpot ever. Each winning ticket holder can choose a one lump sum of $893 million, the yearly prize of $893, or a lump sum of $410. So you get it over a handful of years.
So you either get it the way that this works, like it's over 20 years you get it.
And
right?
annuitized prize is what it says, but I don't know what that means.
And then the other way you just get all of it. Look, either way, you're never going to spend it all when it's this big.
No, and I learned over the weekend that 5 states, Alabama, Alaska, Hawaii, Nevada, and Utah, do not sell Powerball tickets. WHNT News 19 in North Alabama sent a reporter to a convenience store on the Tennessee border Friday afternoon. They caught up with Susie, an Alabama football fan who was asked what she'd do if the winning ticket ended up being hers. And she said,
I'm pulling it up.
Okay.
Here we go. We got it.
I'll tell you exactly what I'd do with the first $70 million. I'd pay off Kalen DeBoer and get him the heck out of the University of Alabama, and then I'd take whatever else it took to get rid of the AD.
Thing, you're not a thing.
Well, this is why Paul Feinbaum's show works. Okay? This is how it works. Susie, and I saw this video, who is middle-aged woman. What would you guys say? Like in her 50s, 60s?
I was going to say mid-50s.
Mid-50s, let's say, for Susie. And she's at a convenience store buying a Powerball ticket. And they say, what would you do with it? And she says that. That's why Feinbaum's show works. That's why. Right there.
I mean, if you're going to win $1.8 billion, I mean, what's $70 million, right? That's a drop in the bucket. See you later, Kalen. I'm going to give the next $70 million to Nick Saban to make him come back.
So, Greg Byrne, you're out of a job, buddy.
You're all out of a job. We're going to make it right. We're bringing Saban back.
I think this is the real thing. How about 2 $1 million tickets? There were 18 $1 million winners of the Powerball. 2 of those were here in Ohio. One of them in Columbus at the Hudson Express carryout located in East Linden. The other one was at the Poor Boys Quick Stock out in Champaign County. Man, those sound like names of places that would sell lottery tickets, don't they?
I've never been to Champaign County. I'm not sure where that is. And I feel like I'm well traversed, but I got nothing on that. Yeah, that's a wild circumstance. I've told this story before, so I won't tell it again. But a friend of one of my good friends from Tallahassee won it, Powerball, and won like $200 million. It was a massive haul that he did, that he won. And I knew him through my buddy, but didn't know him that close, but knew him through my buddy. And let's just say after like a year of just debauchery, he was like, "What am I gonna? I got to do something." Like, I can't keep doing this. I mean, either put all these people on the payroll or I got to figure something out. So he ended up going back to work for the guy who was managing his money. And he's like a financial planner now. Because, like, after you go nuts for a year, what are you going to wake up and do every day?
Bo, Champaign County is out where Urbana is. Urbana, Mechanicsburg, all of that out that way.
Yeah, I've not been there.
Former Buckeye and current Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Will Howard was on the Downs to Business podcast and had this to say about the jump to the National Football League.
I think honestly, the easy answer everyone says is speed, and the speed of the game is different. But for me, I think a bigger difference in speed was going from K-State to Ohio State. And then that jump from Ohio State to here, I don't think was as drastic as that jump was, honestly, from K-State to Ohio State. Because really, like, if you look at it, we were playing against NFL guys every single day. And our defense last year, I think was 12 or 13, 14 NFL dudes on that.
I know. We talked about that during the season. I was like everybody gets drafted, we're going to be one of those.
I swear, like, when it's all said and done, everybody from that team last year is going to be in the NFL.
Thing or not a thing.
So if you're Pantone and Day and everybody, just push that out. Because that's NFLU. That's NFLU. That's what they've built here. Is that level of talent.
Yeah, just put that on repeat over at the Woody, right?
Yeah. And I love the fact that he didn't talk about the games that they had on the schedule. He talked about the practices and how those made him better and more prepared. So there you go. We'll blitz the Buckeyes coming up next. Final hour on a Monday. Our buddy Nate Davis to break down week 1 of the NFL and get us set for the Bears and the Vikings. Fun little Monday nighter tonight. All of that still ahead. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Common Man here for Weed Man. I have the greatest lawn in the neighborhood every single year. And the reason why is water and Weed Man. Good news, I'm only selling you one of them. Fall is the perfect time to improve your lawn for next year. The work you do or don't do now is directly reflected next spring. If you want a beautiful spring lawn, it starts now, not next April. Now through the end of September, mention the promo code Common Man and get a free blanket weed control with the purchase of a full program. For a free quote, go to weedman.com. That's weedman.com.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Another reason to choose Hinderer Motor Company for your next vehicle. This is Justin Hinderer. Every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty, award-winning service, and our exclusive Carvenience. We pick up your vehicle, service it, and return it so you save time and enjoy peace of mind. That's Carvenience. At Hinderer Motor Company, we take care of everything so you can drive worry-free. See why we're the best choice for your next new or used car by visiting hinderermotorcompany.com.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $300 into something bigger when you bet on money lines, spread, totals, player props.
$300 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. TNCs apply in-app only.
With rates lower than the national average, plus special rates on balance transfers, a BMI Federal Credit Union Visa Platinum or Visa with Rewards credit card would be the perfect card for your wallet. Visit bmifcu.org/visa for more details and to apply today.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. My good friends over at Sleep Better Columbus want you to know that if you're 65 or older, enjoying those golden years, but maybe you're dealing with restless nights, you need to listen up. Are you tossing and turning, struggling with sleep apnea, and that leaves you wiped out during the day? Well, it's time to reclaim your rest with Dr. Mark Levy at Sleep Better Columbus. As a leading provider in non-surgical sleep apnea treatments, Dr. Levy helps you breathe easier and sleep deeper with custom oral appliances, a comfortable alternative to CPAP. The best part is that Sleep Better Columbus is in network with most medical insurance plans and is a proud Medicare provider, so your coverage can work seamlessly with Sleep Better Columbus. And as we head toward the end of the year, don't let those benefits go unused. You don't want to wait to use your deductible. Act now to make the most of it with Sleep Better Columbus. Call Sleep Better Columbus today at 800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Once again, that number, 800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com for your consultation. Sleep better, live better. You've earned it.
Buckeye Country Superfest 2026 is back for one day only in Columbus, Ohio. Saturday, June 13th at Ohio Stadium, featuring Tyler Childers, with special guests the Red Clay Strays, Lord Huron, Sierra Farrell, Flatland Cavalry, and Caitlin Butts. Register for pre-sale access now at BuckeyeCountrySuperfest.com. Tickets on sale to the general public on Friday, September 12th at 10 a.m.
Wow, that nagging joint pain. You know the one. Sometimes it's from maybe years of hard work. Sometimes it's just an old injury that never healed right. I know I've got plenty of those. Either way, it's been calling the shots in your life for far too long. But that stops right now. Hey, Bobby Carpenter here, and QC Kinetics is here in Columbus to flip the script. Dr. Walkoff and his team are going to use regenerative medicine, just like I got, advanced cellular treatments that will help your body heal itself. It's going to restore the damaged tissues. It's not a cover-up for it. It's not pills. It's not scalpels. It's long-term lasting relief. So you don't have to operate your life around the pain anymore. QC Kinetics, no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Just smarter and natural ways to heal your body. Make sure you bring your MRI, bring your x-rays. They'll tell you if you're a good candidate. The consultation is free. So just call QC Kinetics at 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. Or visit them at qckinetics.com/Columbus.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Top-ranked Ohio State's a 32.5-point favorite, hosting 1-1 Ohio University Saturday night at 7. The Buckeyes shut out Grambling 70-0 this past Saturday at the Shoe, while the Bobcats upset West Virginia over the weekend in Athens. Hear from Ohio State's head coach tonight on Buckeye Roundtable. Ryan Day is going to join Skip Mossick, Paul Keels, and Jim Lachey around 6:35. Following the Roundtable program, you can hear Monday Night Football on the Fan. The Bears host the Vikings at 8:15. On the field last night, the Ravens blew a 15-point lead in their 41-40 loss to the Bills. 41-year-old Matt Prater nailed a 32-yard field goal for Buffalo as time expired. Baltimore hosts Cleveland Sunday at 1. The Browns lost in fitting fashion yesterday. Bengals escaped Cleveland with a 17-16 win. Cincinnati's 1-0 for the first time in 4 years. Bengals will host the Jaguars Sunday at 1. This update is sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. Tickets, sideline passes, trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game.
The only thing better than watching football is talking about it. So we invented Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. If you say something with enough confidence, it must be true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour here on a Reaction Monday edition of the program. Times to blitz the Buckeyes. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present Buckeye Blitz.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
All right, we do this well. What do we do well, Bake?
This is going to be the same as last week, but play defense. The Ohio State defense has been absolutely lights out through 2 weeks.
Ohio State, almost better than anybody in the country, acquires talent. And the right kind of talent. Like, this isn't a thing with what UCLA is dealing with based off of the Nico Iamaleava fallout or other schools around the country where you're getting guys that are just looking for a paycheck. You're getting guys that are looking to develop for the next level, as you just heard Will Howard say in the Caleb Downs podcast.
Yeah, I think what Ohio State does better than anybody in the country right now is recruit and develop. They just recruit, develop, retain. It's just the best program in college football. There's just no holes, no notes. There's nothing to change with it. It's the best program in college football going at the moment, and then it's a little bit of a gap. There's some others trying to knock on these doors too, but no one else is busting them down the way that the Buckeyes are at this moment. The depth of talent is just staggering. Won't beat Penn State, Michigan, Oregon if we continue to do what, Big?
I still have questions, and I don't know if it's a defensive scheme or what, but I still have a little bit of questions about pressuring the quarterback. Mm-hmm. If Ohio State can get to a quarterback on a big third down when they need to. Again, I don't know if it's a scheme or if it's the players. I was super impressed with Zion Grady in this game with he got in and some of the chaos he wreaked in the backfield of Grambling, but I still have questions about that pass rush.
Yeah, this feels nitpicky, but throw red zone interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
You're, knock in the 20-yard line, you got to put it in the end zone, but not to the opposite team.
Yeah, I think it's and this is nitpicky too. I put this in 3 things on Saturday. Like you didn't create a whole lot of pressure with the 4. I think that's it. Like I'm waiting for somebody on that front to be a real dude and wreak havoc and get home. And you're right, that could be scheme. Who knows? But they don't create enough pressure, I don't think, right now. And this is nitpicky because, quite honestly, this team would be favored over every team in the country as it stands right now. I'd like to see more of what, Bake? What would you like to see more of?
Kind of like we talked about with Riley Pettijohn. I don't know who he replaces because the offensive line looks pretty good. But I'd like to see a little more Ethan Onionwa. If I'm correct in this, and I was trying to pay attention a lot to the substitutions in this game, Ethan Onionwa, I believe, only got 2 series. He got 1 in the second quarter at right guard for Tegra Shabola. And then the first drive they had with the backups, he was at left tackle. But then even then, it was just 1 drive. He came out and Carter Lowe went in. I believe, I'm right, I could be wrong on that, but I believe it was just 2 series with Ethan Onionwa. And it seems like when he is in there at right guard, both those 2 weeks he had 1 series there, they had pretty good drives with him in there. I'd like to see a little more from the big fella.
Yeah, I do think it's Ohio State on their quest to find their best 5 and still not reach to destination.
I think the other thing about that is that's probably not a good thing because he was a big investment. So, maybe a message is trying to be told on it. That to me would be my hunch on it. I was trying to see pull up like a snap count because I did find one. I thought
because I'll go there with you, Baker.
Go ahead,
more
Baker.
consistency. I guess I want to see more of a solidified offensive front. I don't feel like they've found their best 5, and I think that needs to be emphasized here. Ohio's probably not going to provide. Ohio's going to provide a challenge, not in the same level that Texas did, but you're going to need that 5 solidified when you go into Seattle for a 3:30 kick here in 3 weeks?
Yeah. So according to this, looks like it was about 26 snaps for Onionwa, which oddly enough, I don't know if this is, who knows if this is right now, but it looks like it's the exact same as Shabola. Oh, no, total. No, yeah, 26. So who knows what to make of that.
So maybe there was a drive I missed there out of him, but
it wouldn't be the first mistake you made.
Lots of them.
I want to see Bo Jackson. I think he's got that it. When I hear Jeremiah say what he said after post-game about him, that's an attention getter to me, that he's essentially built different. He looks built different. There's a gear he's got that I don't know if the other ones have. That running back room coming together, he feels like the biggest home run hitter by far in that group. And he looked great. Coach who earned his courtesy car, Bake, who do you got?
I mean, there's so many you could go here, but I'm going 3s because he's working some magic here with a rotation with Peyton Pierce and Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles. Peyton Pierce was in there the very beginning of the game. Riley Pettijohn did not look out of place when he got in the game. Garrett Stover had some nice moments, and he's been contributing a lot on special teams. TJ Alford got in and made a couple of plays. I don't know if Ohio State's linebackers have been this dangerous since Ryan Shazier, and it's pretty nice to see.
Yeah, I was wondering on the Pettijohn stuff, like who's teaching them to tackle, and then I realized, it's our good friend James Laurinaitis. So he gets everybody defensively retains the courtesy car they had from last week, so they can just keep cruising that around. Because what Matt Patricia's got with Walton, with Guerreri, all of them are playing their part to perfection.
It's 3s for me too. This is year 3 for him since he's been back. 1 as a GA, his 2nd as a linebacker coach. The transformation that we have seen in recruiting at the linebacker position, and then development. I mean, remember, Sonny was a safety. Was he a DN? What were we going to do with him? And James wanted him in the room in the worst way. Well, how's that working out? Look how far Arvell Reese came in 2 years to now maybe as good a linebacker as is in the country. And then you're right, not just Pettijohn, but Peyton Pierce too. Like, they are just loaded at linebacker, and he's done for linebacker so far what Brian did at receivers. I mean, it's all happening.
Bo, it's interesting. I'm guessing he had a hand in getting Arvell in that linebacker room too, because if you remember when Arvell was a freshman, they were giving him reps at defensive end and thinking about moving him to that spot. I'm guessing James was like, yeah, let me have him too.
Let me see what happens with that. And put him in his hands, and away you go. Game ball's offense. Who do you got, Bake?
So I'm going to go a little different on this because we talked about how we wanted to see the backups, right? And I don't think you can go wrong here with anybody on the offensive side. But to me, it's Bo Jackson. His first carry at Ohio State is a touchdown. 9 carries, 108, and a score, a 51-yard run. And, Bo, the most important thing to me was it looked right, and it looked different than the other two. C.J. Donaldson is a nice back, a strong back, but I don't know how much of a burst he has. James Peoples, like I said, is a good side-to-side runner. Sometimes, though, you want him to just put a foot in the ground and go uphill. Bo Jackson was straight ahead. Maybe a wiggle here, a sidestep there, but it was let's hit fifth gear right away and let's go straight ahead.
I know that Ohio State, if they were to hand out game balls, they'd have stuff engraved on them, but you could take probably 6 of those into the tight end room. 2 of the 4 receiving touchdowns were for the Buckeyes tight ends. They were rewarded, I thought, on Saturday for what they did week 1 against Texas, and now the asks of them in blocking and Will Kazmarek getting the play that was set up for Kazmarek, who was, I think, their best blocking tight end, and they do a hell of a job when they go jumbo on the goal line in the red zone. Like that whole group, and we talked about the talent, but they've done such a good job through 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm going to go Julian. He completed his first 16. I'm not convinced he's thrown an inaccurate ball all year. Not one. I mean, the one that got picked, he was late, but it was accurate. He is everything that we all hoped that he would be. Game ball defense, Bake, go quickly.
I've mentioned this guy a couple times already, but Zion Grady, the freshman defensive end, he showed a little bit of some spark that maybe I haven't seen from other guys on that D-line.
I'm going to go with Riley Pettijohn for obvious reasons.
Same. I remember Threes calling me from his high school game, and he sent me some pictures of the stadium he played in, and he was like, dude, this kid's different, and boy, is he. You score a touchdown in your first, real action. I mean, he just was all over the field. The kid's a stud. Big Ten threat level. Who impressed in the league this weekend for you, Bake?
Well, we already figured out Oregon right before. Yeah. I'm going Illinois. I think that was a big-time win over Duke.
Yeah. Nice one for them. Duck, right? That's the attention.
Don't anger Dad Lanning.
Absolutely don't. I do think that nice starts for USC and Nebraska, Washington as well. So this league is not getting the respect it deserves nationally based on the polls with 5 ranked teams versus 9 for the SEC. You have our attention now nationally. Who has your attention, Bake?
Now, this isn't national championship attention, but South Florida. They had 2 pretty good wins to start the year.
Bo, I know where you're going, so I'm going to say maybe Tennessee. Volunteers have Georgia Saturday at 3:30, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, that would be a fun one. To me, it's Oklahoma, and I think they didn't even really play clean. They had some turnover. It still didn't play as clean as they could have, but I think with Mateer, their gear is pretty. I think that right now, you give me Oklahoma or Texas right now, I would take Boomer Sooner. Texas looks
I might too.
Boomer Sooner looks pretty dang good. 2 weeks in.
There may not be 20 points scored total in Red River this year.
Yeah,
can't call that a shootout.
Defenses.
Yeah. Mateer's got it set up, though. He's got a different gear to him. Can this team win it all, Bake?
A+.
Sure can.
Yes, it's an A or an A+, or even beyond it. Beyond it, I don't know. I'm trying to think who else other than Oregon I would put that's looked this good. And it's maybe Oklahoma, but it's a short list. A lot of clunky football through 2 weeks.
Utah.
Not here. Utah, too. Yeah. I just don't know if they have the overall talent. But, yeah, there aren't that many that have played to this level. It's an A+. All right, Sunday Night Football. What a game last night, and a fun one tonight on Monday Night Football. Get you set for one and react to the other coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
What's better than cheering the Buckeyes on to victory? Wearing our exclusive collection of OSU jewelry as you watch. Hi, this is Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. We're an officially licensed jeweler of The Ohio State University, and we've created beautiful Buckeye jewelry that will last a lifetime. From Blanco earrings to Diamond Script Ohio necklaces, we've got luxury Buckeye gifts starting at $99. No matter where you're watching, show your Buckeye love at the Diamond Cellar, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Bob Yoakum, president of Rockford Homes, explains why he banks with First Bank of Central Ohio.
Anytime you're dealing with a local bank, it's about being able to pick up the phone and talk to real people. That is a huge pro. You know, when you get into these bigger banks, that doesn't happen.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Busy schedule? This is Ryan Krieger, and Krieger Ford has you covered. Krieger Ford offers pickup and delivery, or our mobile service van will come right to you. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today only at KriegerFord.com.
Is there anything better than a college football Saturday? Not if you're at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Join the fan for watch parties for the games this season. Oh, you got to check out the display case of amazing autographed prizes you can win. It's beautiful. 2 massive TV walls to watch the national champs. Watch and place wagers with over 30 kiosks. Contests, prizes, and live shows. Must be 21 or older to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
Dormar, your kind of hero. When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the Tin Man.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
An absolutely lovely start to the work week with plenty of sunshine and temperatures feeling very much like fall in the mid-70s. For tonight, clear skies overnight with our lows down into the 40s. And then for Tuesday, the sunshine is on rinse and repeat. Sunglasses will be needed, but the jacket you can put away in the afternoon with highs getting right around 80 degrees. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
We are your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is, and the Capital Ford Columbus High School football game of the week takes us to New Albany Friday night as the Eagles host UA. Coverage starts at 6:30. The kick at 7 after the game. It's Byers, Dublin, Subaru overtime with Bake and Lee. Friday nights for high school football on the Fan. Is that a good one? New Albany, UA? Is that a good? Those
I
two
think
teams
it should
spots?
be. Upper Arlington's 3-0 now.
Unbeaten,
on the
baby.
year. New Albany got their first win this past week, but Jet Jewers, their running back, 65, 75, and 85-yard touchdown runs.
Oh, baby.
So it should be a good one.
Reese going to be guest sideline reporter for that one?
He should be.
I got a thing.
You got
Just saying,
boys.
UA hung the 50 on Reynoldsburg this past Friday.
Oh, baby. All right. There you go. How far did you get into? Well, let me ask you guys this. How did you approach like the first weekend of all this football?
No plan. Bleep it. I'm going to do what I can. Like there was,
It's a gorgeous weekend too. Gorgeous.
It was tough Saturday, especially because you were literally waiting all day for the 3:30 kick that you know isn't going to deliver. Like last week, it's so hard because of that come down from all of that went into Texas and Ohio State. And the noon games, there was no juice in any of them. And so, yes, did I find myself watching Iowa State and like looking outside like Squidward sees Patrick and SpongeBob and go, I got to watch this game. But I didn't like have to.
Yeah.
It was weird, but I just spent the 2 days prior waiting for night football that delivered and then finding myself going, can 3:30 get here? And then can 4 o'clock get here? And then can we just get to Sunday?
So, Bo, for me, like my weekend was consumed with football. Friday night, obviously, with our game here, and then into Saturday going down for the Grambling game. And then, so by the time I got home, it was probably the end of right towards the end of the first quarter of the Michigan-Oklahoma game. So I put that on and watched that. And then I switched to something else at the end of the night after that. I don't remember what it was at this point. I ended up falling asleep pretty quick. And then yesterday, Scotty and I had a watch party for the Browns-Bengals out at Hollywood Casino in the ESPN Sportsbook. So we were there watching everything. And by the time I went home, it was like, okay, I need a nap. And then I woke up and started watching the Sunday night football. And then by, it's 40-25. I'm like, all right, we're safe to go to bed. And, well, little did I know.
Baker, is it true that they didn't let Dave Biddle do the host this one because he was so angry last year?
I think Dave Biddle didn't let Dave Biddle host this one because he was so angry
as a Bengals
last
fan,
year.
yeah.
And I think Biddle, we did not hear from Biddle until after the game.
After? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of, as I was sitting there, I had a similar experience you did, Reese. Like, I found myself just waiting, and I had stuff I had to get done, like around the house, groceries, just stuff that you got to do on a weekend. I'm getting to the point where I might hate 3:30 the most. And I know
it's the worst.
A lot of people think it's the sweet spot because it gives you, longer to tailgate. You're done by 8. You can still get a meal, whatever. I find that it just takes up your whole day. Like, I think, to me, especially a game like that, and maybe that's just in the old days, that would have been a noon game. Like, you just sort of played it at noon and would have been on ESPN2 and away we go. That's it. But now everybody needs the Buckeyes to prop up windows. So that's how we're Peacock this week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to prop up the app. So this is our world now, where we're faced to prop up all of these various networks as they get things done. So that was our Big Ten network game. So they go at 3:30 for the bigger numbers. But yeah, it's a lot of football. And I'm saying to my wife and I were talking last night as I was watching Ravens-Bills, which was an awesome game. It was really awesome, but it was almost like overload. It was so much football that I consumed from like noon to midnight Saturday, noon to 11 Saturday, and 1 to when I went to bed in the fourth quarter of this one. It was 11 o'clock a little bit before, maybe 11:15 by the time I went to bed last night. So yeah, I'm going to have to figure out a way to handle all of this because it's so much stuff to watch. And it ended really in the most improbable of ways. I mean, the Baltimore Ravens don't lose games like that. And no, I mean it. They don't. You guys have this in the prep.
Nobody does.
NFL research seems teams who score 40 points and rush for 235 yards rushing in a game were 277-0 all time until yesterday, when Buffalo came back from 16 down and beat the Ravens 41-40. It, to me, felt like the Ravens had a lot on that one. Like, they were pretty supremely motivated to get a win in that thing, and to give it up the way they did in the fourth quarter, it could have a little bit of lingering facts. Now they get the Browns this week at home, so they're going to they should get a big bounce back there, just based on all of the things that come with that. But it'll be a slugfest game too, and now so much pressure is on Baltimore. For Buffalo, man, you want to talk about house money? I mean, just getting battered, and then you flip it like that. And one thing, and we'll have Nate Davis on in about 6 minutes. One thing I'm always very cautious of in week one is to overreact to what we see in the NFL. It's usually not a harbinger of things to come. It usually doesn't mean much going forward. But that was an attention getter Sunday night with Buffalo coming back from 16 down in the fourth. I mean, Buffalo fans left. That never happens.
Yeah, Josh Allen was pretty gracious at the end there. Like, he could have been chesty about it. He's like, "It's okay, guys. Yeah. Just have some faith in us next time." And for me, there isn't a more. This isn't going to, I don't think, make grammatical sense, but there's not a more rootable quarterback than Josh Allen in the NFL right now.
I think he's the most rootable athlete in professional sports right now.
Yeah.
I really don't know how anyone could have anything negative to say about him. I mean, he's got like 100% approval rating right now because he hasn't won enough for us to hate him.
No.
So look, he's kind of right now, he kind of checks every box.
But Derrick Henry's also so much fun to watch play football.
I can't believe he's still at this age.
I felt a little bad for him last night when he fumbled. Then I remembered bleep the Ravens now and forever. But last night it was so much fun watching him that that's the way that night for him was capped off. Standing on the sidelines, helpless.
I would love it if these two teams were in the same division and you got to see these two teams play again. And then again in the playoffs, would anybody be upset if that last night was the AFC Championship matchup? Those two quarterbacks are so similar in the fact that they're such dual threat quarterbacks, but they're so dissimilar in the way they are, right? Like Josh Allen is just this big bruiser, like a tank, and Lamar is like a Ferrari, and both of them just have cannons for an arm. It's not even fair that Lamar is that fast and that good of an athlete, and that throw to DeAndre Hopkins, he just flicked it.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't even move his arm, it didn't look like. It's just his wrist went forward, and that ball just snapped and was on a frozen rope. I mean, those two are so fun to watch.
Yeah, they are the two best in the league at the moment. And back to the Henry thing, like when he left Tennessee, it was after his 29-year-old season. 29. Last year, 19-21, 16 touchdowns, 6 yards a clip last year. Then he goes for 18 for 169 and 2 touchdowns yesterday. He's 31. 31.
He's a gazelle out there, too.
It's well, he's a rhino.
I mean,
and he still has not touched his high school rushing total yet.
No, that's my favorite stat.
Insane.
That to me is more than the Cy Young win total. It's more than the Cy Young win total. It's more than whatever ridiculous sports record you have. Derrick Henry's high school stats are better than all of that.
Yeah, 4,400 yards his senior year alone.
It's he had 15,000 yards rushing in high school or something like that. It's not even possible. Fun one tonight, too. Really fun Monday nighter. For all of the... Man, so much football fatigue, but then all of a sudden you get served J.J. McCarthy making his first start for a Vikings team that's all they do is win under Kevin O'Connell versus how'd that Lions offense look without Ben Johnson?
They missed Ben Johnson so bad yesterday. I want to have my Lions. I want to have my Lions pick back. Can I please?
I think that Packers team's pretty good though.
After week one, though, I know, but Lions I think will be good. The Lions will be fine. But the Ben Johnson difference is going to affect them, I think, in the playoffs.
Really fun. I agree with you, and I think the Monday Night Football opener is a fun one. This is a really fun game to see Caleb Williams, all those Bears weapons at home, and then J.J. McCarthy and the Vikes coming in. Yeah, that one's going to check the boxes tonight. We'll get week one. So far, one game left to play into perspective with our good buddy Nate Davis, USA Today. He joins us coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Take action with Logan Services now and do not miss out on tax credits up to $3,200 ending soon. Receive additional savings up to $3,000 and get next day installation. Logan Services.
Back to work, school, it's all happening. It's real life. Routine shouldn't be a bad word. How about winning rhythm? Losing weight every week with Awaken 180 and looking forward each day in every weigh-in. Fast results online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Grown-ups, don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the VA benefits.
Hey there. You hear that? Right. You don't. That's what it's like to order food for your workplace with EasyCater. No hold music while you wait to place your order. No tapping as you type in special dietary instructions or long, complicated searches for options in your budget. No crinkling of paper receipts. Just...
Dang, these are some tasty sandwiches.
EasyCater, the better way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. 10 feet tall and bulletproof isn't just a saying, it's a way of life. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time to head out on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Conversation with our great friend, Nate Davis, NFL at USA Today at an expert level, and he joins us now. Nate, thanks so much for taking the time, buddy. All right, one of my favorite things to do in week one, and I'm curious if you do this as well, is overreact positively to something and negatively to something. Is there an overreaction that you are particularly proud of positively and negatively from week one so far?
Overreaction? I mean, you just called me something of an expert in the professional, Bo. I try on not over or underreacting to things. I mean, I will say I'm proud of myself for putting the Packers in the Super Bowl like 6 weeks ago, which maybe, so maybe I'm not overreacting to my own genius there, but and I will say, like, amongst our 6 pickers, I found it odd last week that among the 6 gentlemen we have picking games, I was the only one that picked the Packers to beat the Lions. But I mean, I didn't see it being a 14-point game. I'll tell you that. But that was certainly one that caught my eye. So that's the best way I can answer your question, buddy.
That's a great job. Genius is hard. It's hard being a delicate genius all the time, buddy. I'm with you. I had the Packers in that Super Bowl too. Before they looked great, they really did. Just so comprehensive. Their defense was already good, and then Micah comes in, and then away you go. I suppose the overreaction the other way, or maybe it isn't, is, man, do the Lions miss Ben Johnson that much?
And Aaron Glenn, and I think the thing people, I think the losing 2 coordinators narrative has obviously been out there for a minute, but they lost 8 coaches. I mean 6 others, aside from the 2 coordinators. So, I mean, this is really an overhauled staff, and not because Dan Campbell wanted to. But yeah, I mean, that offense did not look the same yesterday. And, you talk to some ex-players, and some of them will tell you that they'd rather lose a starter or 2 than lose a coordinator. So, I mean, everybody knows what a good coordinator Ben Johnson is. So we'll see how that goes. But, and I'm looking forward. I should get to see the Lions up front and personal in week 3 when they come to Baltimore. But, I mean, they've got, the first place schedule. I think they're playing a lot more outdoor games this year than they did last year. So it does seem like the deck is kind of, I don't want to say stacked against them, but I mean, I think that they're not going to have certainly the circumstances that they had on the road to 15-2 last year.
Did I see that you were in Philly for the opener? Did I see that right?
I was in Philly for the opener, yes.
Okay, so, and they looked kind of what we expect Philly to look like. 1 week in, we obviously mentioned Green Bay. They looked lights out. Who else in the NFL jumped out to you as, oh, they're ready to go week one? Like they're on. They have a mission and they're on it.
Well, I mean, last night's the game last night was fantastic, and Baltimore was my pick to win the Super Bowl. I'm still kind of stunned they let that game get away, but this is kind of the same story as last year where their defense let them down early in the year. I thought that they'd kind of fix that with all the guys that they brought in from outside. And, that takes time sometimes, and but I mean, this does feel like the kind of game that could have tiebreaker implications. Well down the road, we'll see. Rams look good. I don't want to absolve them from the Matthew Stafford concern, and the Texans obviously have some issues, even though they're probably going to be the best team in the South. I mean, teams took care of it. Yeah, that's probably to me about it in terms of everybody else kind of slotted where I thought they would. I think pretty much. I was surprised the Patriots lost to the Raiders.
What did you make of Rodgers' return to Pittsburgh? The result, you have to get the win. They do. Fortuitous bounce that lands in DK Metcalf's chest. That helps too. But Rodgers threw 4 picks, just 8 incompletions. Looked very comfortable in that offense. By the way, I thought the Jets looked pretty dang good too with Fields. I think that there's a little roadmap for them to be kind of a frisky team. But what did you make of Pittsburgh and Rodgers for week one?
Yeah, I had Pittsburgh winning 11 games this year, Bo, and people were kind of like, what do you mean they're going to win 11 games? I'm thinking that I think Aaron Rodgers is an upgrade from Russell Wilson. I mean, I don't know that you can argue that. I mean, obviously neither one of them are in their prime any longer, but I think when you add Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Ramsey to a team that won 10 games last year, and this is game one. Actually, I thought they were going to lose this game Sunday just because Aaron Rodgers hadn't actually played a snap on the field anyway in Arthur Smith's offense. But I thought that was well designed, and I think when that running game kind of gets a little bit more on track, and certainly when the defense plays better, this is I can't see him overtaking the Ravens unless something really goes wrong with Baltimore. But I mean, I think the Steelers are going to be a wild card team, and I think that this version might have as good a chance as any in recent years to kind of break that hex of not being able to win a playoff game.
Nate, one of the teams that you didn't mention in that AFC North was Cincinnati. They're as all in as they could be. They paid everybody for one more year at least with Hendrickson, and they're in the middle of this prime of Joe Burrow. We'll do the Browns side of it in a second, but just from the Bengals side of it, where offensively sputtered, some of that's just Miles and the defensive line's that good, and it's a tough matchup for them, but also they struggled to protect, and then defensively they got 2 very timely picks, but other than that, Flacco went up and down the field on them a little bit. What did you make of Cincinnati? So much was made of their approach to the preseason, and it's all going to be different, and I guess it is. They got a result, but it didn't look to me like a team that was ready to go be in that level with Baltimore and certainly some of the others in the AFC.
Yeah, I mean, I still kind of had them penciled in as third in the division. I mean, I do think that they should be good enough to get back to the playoffs. It's kind of like what you said. And I mean, I wanted to pick the Browns in the worst way going into that game because the Bengals never play well in Cleveland, at least not in this Joe Burrow, Zach Taylor era. And then obviously they never play well early in the season. So, yeah, they got outplayed, like you said, pretty much everywhere, but on the scoreboard. So that's all they care about. I'm quite sure. I think the second week one win in the Zach Taylor era, and I guess he's never won week 2. So we'll see what happens next week. I mean, if I'm them, I guess I'm looking at the glass as half. I guess it's half empty in this, or half full in this instance, and that your main guys on offense didn't play well. Your defense maybe didn't play great, but I mean, it kind of was what you needed. I mean, they got the turnovers. They got help from Smith, actually the kicker, of course. But I mean, still, it was a better effort than what we're used to from that Cincinnati defense based on last year. So I think, given all that, knowing that the offense is going to get better, that you have to be happy with the win and be like, we can play a lot better than this. So.
No such thing as moral victories in the NFL, and the Browns' schedule over the next. They'll take them. They'll take all they can get. It was a hell of a documentary for Jerry, though. I guess maybe he could live off that this year. The Netflix doc was great. No moral victories in the NFL. But if you're Cleveland and you see Fannin, Sampson, they got Judkins signed, so he'll be in the mix. Isaiah Bond's basically a free second-round pick for them. you can see how they could be frisky. Now, I don't know. The next 5 games are just absolutely brutal for them, including this Sunday at Baltimore. But what did you make of what you saw from Cleveland in week 1?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Joe Flacco in that offense. You know, my understanding is that they're trying to kind of make it more of the version it was in 2023 when he operated well. They're just such an interesting team, and I mean, there's clearly good players in that team. Like you said, there's interesting young guys like Judkins, Mason Graham, and others. And then I think, I mean, they haven't won a Super Bowl or anything, but I think we can all agree that Kevin Stefanski's a pretty darn good coach. You know, two-time coach here. And you know, they're not a team that's going to go out there and not that anybody does, but probably, you know, when they're probably not going to go 3-14 unless they have like another just disastrous season with injuries and all that. But kind of what they need to do, you know, unless they somehow figure out that Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders really is the guy long term. But they're in such a quandary in that, you know, I'm sure they will come out and they will play good games like they did yesterday because Kevin Stefanski will have them ready, and they have studs like Myles Garrett, you know, Joel Bitonio, et cetera, Jerry Jeudy. But it just feels like, I mean, I don't think anybody thinks they're going to make much noise this year. And it just feels like it's counterproductive for what they've got coming next year with 2 first-round picks. So they're going to be a really fascinating team to watch.
Yeah, it really is. A fascinating one tonight. I can't wait to see this Monday Nighter. And I've watched so much football, my eyes are bleeding. But time I hear anything about Minnesota, the thing that always jumps out to me is there was never a thought to add a veteran quarterback. So that tells me they like JJ a lot, even though he missed all of last season. Where are you tonight with Vikes and Bears?
I tend to think Minnesota will be okay tonight. I think that the unknown of J.J. McCarthy is probably less of an issue than the unknown of a whole team trying to adapt to Ben Johnson's scheme and culture. I mean, I think the Bears are going to be kind of a slow play and probably one that gets better over the course of the season. You know, J.J. McCarthy is going to have to kind of see if he can, you know, I'm sure he would be thrilled. They would all be thrilled if he can match what Sam Darnold did last year. But he's got so much, you know, infrastructure around him, and then one of the league's best coaches that I would give them the nod tonight. But you know, it's going to be interesting to see him play. I mean, J.J. McCarthy has lived off, you know, not necessarily having to be the guy to carry a team and having everybody around him. You know, let's see what we can do tonight.
NFL delivered, man. God, every window all weekend. It was great. It's so good talking to you again, my friend. Appreciate you. Thanks for your time.
Okay, Bo. Good talking to you.
There he goes, Nate Davis, NFL at USA Today on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Get you 3 things. We'll pick our Monday Night Football game as well. Vikes and Bears. It's coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Daily Ryan Day Show is brought to you locally by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers and by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
This is the Ryan Day Show, brought to you statewide by Safe Light Auto Glass. Coach, what are you most proud of when you look back after this win on Saturday?
I don't know. You know, I think, you know, for the most part, we did what we were supposed to do. It's no secret that this was not a matchup game, but we're looking for clean play. You know, we wanted to make sure we were executing, being more explosive. Certainly on offense, we wanted to play with some tempo. We were able to do that. We were able to get some explosive plays. So, you know, hopefully that part can, you know, build some confidence as we move forward. Created some turnovers on defense, which was a focal point going into this one.
4 plays of 40-plus yards, 32 first downs. You said coming into the week, Coach, that you wanted to be explosive. When you look back at this game on Saturday, what did you like specifically from the offense?
Yeah, I thought, you know, Julian got the ball out of his hand quickly. I thought he was accurate with his throws. I thought, you know, the protection was good. Spacing was, you know, about what we wanted it to be. And then I thought, you know, we handled the tempo pretty good, which was good because we mostly had been playing out of the huddle this past week. So, and really most of the preseason, quite honestly. We mixed in a little bit of tempo, but it's the first time we really put the pedal in the metal, and I thought we handled that okay.
We'll have a final comment after this.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelight.com. Safelight Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelight Repair, Safelight Replace.
Buckeye fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes those moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, so crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado, beer.
This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Coach, what can we expect from this tempo moving forward? Is it a game-by-game type of basis, or do you like where the tempo was today?
It's just, a tool, and when you need it, you can use it. And so, it's good to know that we can use this. But, there's things about it that are good. There's things about it that are, everything has pluses and minuses. So, we'll take a look to see when it can help us, when we need to change pace in a game, based on how things are going. And it's always a tool that we need. We can pull it out. It's been good for us in the past, and it's good to know that we can use it.
This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Toyota gives you the power of choice. Now through September 30th, get 4.75 APR financing on a stylish new 25 Corolla or 5.75 on Corolla Hybrid. Excludes Corolla Cross and GR Corolla. Or lease a gas-powered 25 Corolla LE for $199 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Keep your friends close and your producers closer. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, before we get to the poll, we've got a Monday Nighter to pick, Reese.
Sure do. The Bears are hosting the Vikings on ESPN and ABC. You can also hear that game on The Fan following Buckeye Roundtable. Ryan Day's
How did you do?
I was 7-8.
I'm 8-7 going into tonight.
3 games were decided by that hook.
This is
the hook's
a big
unbelievable
one here. The hook was huge all weekend.
It was unreal what the hook did.
Vegas is so damn good.
It's crazy. I mean, were there 3 of them? What did we have? We had Pittsburgh was 2.5. We had
Tennessee, Denver was 8.5.
8.5.
The Saints the Cardinals were 6.5.
And the Cardinals were 6. Well, they covered because wasn't it 2013?
Yes, but I had them plus 6.5.
Oh, I got you.
So that got me.
I got you.
The hook gets you both ways.
It's crazy, crazy how it shook out. All right, Bake, what do we have for tonight?
Minnesota is a 1.5-point favorite on the road at Chicago.
So I grew up a Bears fan. They were the team of my youth, and just as a battered Bears fan, Chicago doesn't win games like this. They don't win Monday Night Football with new coach and fun offense and all of that. Give me Kevin O'Connell. And I keep going back to this. Like, they didn't feel they needed to address quarterback, so they love him. And so I think they'll be good to go. I like Minnesota winning today, and I'll throw the 1.5.
Yeah, I think even with a pedestrian, I don't even know what pedestrian looks like for J.J. McCarthy because we've never seen him play in an NFL game. But everything else, I think, is just so much more in the favor of Minnesota. I don't think Chicago's got it just yet. That's not to say they're going to be a complete train wreck this season, but give me the Vikings here tonight as well.
All right, what do we have on the poll today?
Daily Fan Poll asks, how many players do you think Grambling State would have needed to play with on every single play to make it a four-quarter game against Ohio State? So this was extra men on the field, 2 extra men on the field, 15 or more extra men, 15 or more men on the field to match up with Ohio State. 49% of you think it would have taken Grambling State 15 or more to make it a four-quarter game with the Buckeyes.
4 extra
players.
I think that cornerback for Grambling thought he had 4 extra bodies when he bid on the underneath route and left Jeremiah alone.
See, I think he just decided, yeah, to hell with it. I'm not trying against that guy. I'll take the guy in the flat over 4.
It would look like he was clearly passing him on to the safety, but he didn't even get a hand on him. Like
the safety wasn't even
good.
I think the safety said the same thing. Said, nah.
If you had 4, where would you deploy him? Like defensively, I think the problem would be offensively. That's where I think it could be a problem because you basically, if you had 4 extras, you could play 2 more for pass protection. You could throw 2 more in routes, 4 more defensively. You're going to rush 6 minimum, maybe 7 every single play. I think 4 more that's becomes a problem. That's kind of what my read on that would be. If 4 more would be, that's a numbers game. You're going to lose some, even if the talent discrepancy is massive, as it is. Of course, that's T-Bone and Tyvus coming up with that. 3 things on a Monday. Hit it.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
All right, number 1 for me. So I love these cool nights. So windows are open. Now, it got real cold last night to the point where I had to close some windows in the middle of the night, and the same would be true of Saturday. But Saturday provided an even bigger amount of adventure as I'm a heavy sleeper now, and so I hardly hear anything. But I get awakened by my wife. It's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, something like that. She's like, "What is that?" And what you hear is what appears to be, it's clearly the death of an animal. Is what it is. Like this. Some animal is losing its life, is what's going on. And my wife is in panic, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. It's the end of the days for something out there. I don't know what the predator is, probably a coyote. We live in the woods, so you could be a coyote, could be any number of things. But what you're hearing is the end of an animal. Now, if you're curious if that meant my wife did not go back to sleep for about 2 hours, then the answer to that is yes. If you're curious if I went back to sleep like a baby, the answer is also yes. I'm used to mutual vulnerability.
I was about to say, you're experienced in those types of noises.
She was not.
Did you get in trouble for that?
She goes, we're sleeping with the window closed the rest of the time. That's ridiculous. Fair.
First thing for me, we have a new deadlift world record. You'll never guess who set it over the weekend, or maybe you will. The Mountain, Hafthor Bjornsson, lifted 1,113 pounds, or metrically 510 kilos. It's a lot of weight.
What a massive human.
He says he's never going to do anything more than that, which is probably fine because that record might stand forever.
Also, a little lesson from Game of Thrones. If you have someone down, finish them. Don't run your mouth.
And I'm pretty sure his knees are destroyed after that. First thing for me, and I feel like this is a bad job out of me. I mentioned earlier about South Florida kind of having my attention. Mm-hmm. Well, their coach, Alex Golish, was born in Moscow, Russia, moved to Brooklyn, New York. Then his family moved to Dublin, Ohio. He is a 3-year letter winner on the Dublin Scioto football team. Yeah. He started his coaching career the first year of Westerville Central as a defensive line coach. Then he became a student assistant at Ohio State, moved on to Northern Illinois and Oklahoma State as grad assistants, became a running backs and recruiting coordinator coach at Toledo. He followed Tim Beckman from there to Illinois. Then Matt Campbell, who he worked with at Toledo, hired him as a tight ends coach and recruiting coordinator at Iowa State. Then he ended up at UCF, Tennessee, and now he's the head coach at South Florida and the team that maybe has the 2 biggest wins on the college football season.
I'll make this my number 2 because you were going down that road. At the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma is a 29-year-old.
Wow.
Like, it's just amazing. Like, if in that sport right now, if you show innovation and a willingness to work and do the things, you can elevate kind of out of nowhere. That was such a cool story. Both of those stories over the weekend. Really enjoyed that.
Second thing for me, I just want to ask I have one question. As I was crying on the way home yesterday from that Browns loss, did anybody call Matt Prater? Did you do anything at all? Like,
I mean, they had Hopkins. They just paid him, and then
they got rid of him.
And then, he's bad last year.
He was bad. Why they extend? Like, why they give him money?
Kickers kick there, man?
How many kickers are the Browns going to go through? Like,
make a kick, dude.
Maybe we can get CB out there. CB was an all-state kicker. Maybe we can get him kicking
Miles
for the
do
Browns.
it.
Hold on a second. He was an all-state kicker? How am I just now getting that information?
Yeah, he won a state championship at Hartley. A second thing for me, Buckeyes not only dominated on Saturday, dominating on Sunday as well. Nick Bosa got that strip sack to seal their win. Emeka, the game-winning touchdown, 4 catches, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns in his debut. Marv, 571 and a touchdown. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 9 and 124. Garrett Wilson, 795 and a touchdown. Justin Fields, a big game, even though he tried to get Garrett Wilson killed at the end. J.K. Dobbins with a touchdown in the fourth quarter. The Buckeyes are everywhere.
NFLU, kids. That's a collective 3 from all of us. It's NFLU. Never take it for granted. Rothman and Ice coming up next. We're back tomorrow. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The Big 9 was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Join the Reds when they battle the Cubs in a 4-game set September 18th through the 21st. Bring your furry friend to the game on Thursday for the last Bark in the Park of the season, thanks to Good and Fun, Dreambone, and Kroger. Don't miss a spectacular fireworks show after the game on Friday the 19th, presented by Paycor. Plus, Sunday the 21st is Fan Appreciation Day, with prizes to lucky fans throughout the game. Get your tickets now at reds.com/tickets.
Earn 2% cash back on purchases and pay 0% APR on balance transfers for 15 months with a new Kemba Financial Credit Union Visa. That's more rewards and less interest. Apply at Kemba.org. For purchases and balance transfers made in the first 90 days, restrictions apply. APR equals annual percentage rate. Variable and subject to change. Equal opportunity lender. Expires 10/31/25.
Domar, you're kind of hero.
Hey Columbus, it's Lorenzo Stiles Jr., Ohio State student athlete. Football runs deep in my family. My dad played here, and now my brother and I are proud to carry on that tradition. At Monogram Homes, family matters too. They treat every homeowner like one of their own, building with care, precision, and pride. Monogram doesn't just build houses, they build homes, crafted just for you. So whether you're starting your first home or designing your dream space, Monogram Homes has got your back every step of the way. Visit monogramhomes.net to start building today. Monogram Homes, a builder you can trust.
Bobcat Enterprises says thank you for your support as they celebrate 50 years of serving the construction industry. Established in 1975 in Cincinnati, Bobcat Enterprises has expanded to 9 stores to meet you where you are in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. Find equipment for any construction project, including compact track loaders and excavators. Plus, Bobcat Enterprises rents compact equipment and attachments. Find current specials and locations at bobcatent.com or follow Bobcat Enterprises Inc. on Facebook. Bobcat Enterprises, 50 years working for you.
Right now in Washington, there's a fight going on to make life more affordable and bring back American jobs. Some play politics and some want to get things done. Senator John Husted is cutting through the noise, putting Ohio first. The new tax bill delivers for working families and helps small businesses hire and grow right here in Ohio. Tell John Husted, keep fighting for Ohio families and small businesses. Paid for by Senate Opportunity Fund.
Hey there. You hear that? Right. You don't. That's what it's like to order food for your workplace with Easy Cater. No hold music while you wait to place your order. No tapping as you type in special dietary instructions or long, complicated searches for options in your budget. No crinkling of paper receipts. Just...
Dang, these are some tasty sandwiches.
EasyCater, the better way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Double your Keno booster automatically every Tuesday in September between 4 and 5 p.m. with Keno Power Hour Double Booster. Play Keno with Booster between 4 and 5 any Tuesday afternoon in September, and the booster value will be doubled. You could boost your winnings up to 20 times all September long. Learn more at OhioLottery.com/Keno Power Hour. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the tin man.